one song in particular I kind of want to play, actually. What the fuck is the forest theme from this game? Why is it missing from this play? You know what? I'm manually putting this shit on. Yeah! But yeah, audio might sound a little different when I'm looking at that screen because I had to move my mic. Because I had to set up a different, like, layout entirely for doing art. I feel like I'm louder with this new setup. I think my mic's just, like, closer. I have to put on my silly little glove for silly little drawing. Now, so how is everyone in chat doing? I just sort of immediately went in, just like, no, I need to listen to the forest music. How's chat doing? How are you doing? You better be doing good. I have, like, so much snipers at your location, making sure you're feeling good and comfortable. Your dude's okay? That's good. So, I was, like, going through, I think it was, like, fucking, like, 2 hours ago going through Tumblr, and I saw a thing of just, like, look at these Pokemon drawn from memory, and I'm just like, that's silly, what if I did that? And, well, that's sort of just how the stream happened today. I put very little time into preparation. I had to, like, spend a bit of time just getting some amount of food in me. But, hi chat. It's Orb, your favorite friend. So, I personally do not trust my ability to maintain conversation over the course of drawing. Which is why I set up the ultimate video to have on the side. Let's learn about speedruns as I draw Pokemon from memory. Going to just hide that layer. Alright.
One of the fastest growing speedruns of the last few years is New Super Mario Bros. Wii.
I am
Close
shrimply
to 1,000
testing.
runs are on the leaderboard, a mark that not
I think
many
it's working.
games have reached. Naturally, competition at the
Hell
top
yeah.
level is impressive, because not many
I think the
people
audio
can call
from the
themselves
video is a
a
little
world
loud.
record holder. A world record demands near perfection, honing in skills that come after thousands of hours.
Dang, that's crazy.
Few people have gotten to that level, but those who have etched their place in speedrunning history.
How am I deciding which Pokemon to draw? My plan was to literally just ask chat every now and then. So I guess, chat, what am I drawing first? First come, first serve. Whalmer, you got it. Whalmer and Barbicle. Wow, I got two fucking great... I forgot Barbicle existed. Whalmer I can at least draw because you're just like... Wait, no. Is Whalmer the evolution or the first form? Wailord is the second form, so...
Up here, at the beginning. New Super Mario Bros. Wii was released on November 12th, 2009.
Fix up that circle a little bit.
Normally, it takes months or even years before a speedrunning scene develops around a game. For New Super Mario Bros. Wii,
fins on the side.
4 days. People nearly instantly
I think those fins have like these
to route the game for a speedrun. In the following weeks, times of 45 minutes and 35 minutes were claimed.
I'm noticing that my sizing for the video capture isn't perfect. That's probably fine.
Although neither have video proof.
I think you
For
have
the
like
next several
that in the
months,
back.
Runner UC Pro would both route the game and complete
You know, like a little
speedruns.
hole on top which
And
has
in May
water
2010,
shooting out.
He claimed the 2605, but once again, he didn't record it. To get to the
I'm pretty
first
sure
recorded
Whalmer is just
we have to
a
jump
ball.
to May 2011, when Riker Z uploaded this run. A
He
time
loves
of
spherical
26
Pokemon.
minutes and 56 seconds. Riker Z started in World 1. Level 1-1 is quite straightforward, where you want to run and jump through to get to the end as fast as possible. However, there are subtle optimizations you can make. Sliding down the hills gives you a slight boost of speed, and running through the checkpoint is the fastest way to power up. Riker Z also picked up the propeller mushroom.
Use
for
like a
later.
lighter blue for like
In
water
1-2,
spewing out.
He tilted the Wii remote to create downward slopes he could quickly run down, and picked up a star midway through, which increases your running speed. In 1-3, Riker Z used the
I feel like I didn't make mine
fly up
smiling
to the
enough.
secret exit, which unlocked the cannon to take him to World 5. In
This like
5-1,
looks like one
you had
who's
to
like.
deal with the water in the latter half.
Well, I'm
He
gonna have you
simply
hold a
fell in
little
and
like.
swam as quickly as he could. It slowed him down by several seconds. After 5-1, you're forced to run into the piranha plants on the overworld map, where Riker
That's supposed to be a
collected
lollipop, I
8
think.
toad balloons, albeit with a bit of a slowdown. You then have a choice of either playing 5-2 or 5-3, and Riker Z
Whoops.
picked 5-2. It's a pretty straight.
I drew it on the coloring layer. I'm realizing
On top of Wigglers
it's an off day for them. Yeah, like it. We could
Next
just.
was the World 5 Fortress, a vertical stage where having the propeller suit helps immensely. Riker Z was able to propeller up from platform to platform, then defeated Iggy with 3
And I
jumps
can
on
have
his
like a really
The next stage was
palish
5-4.
color.
This stage is intended to be an auto-scroller, where you ride on this raft while enemies rain down from these
I
platforms.
do not
above.
remember the color of
It's
like this
designed to
part
be
of
long
Whalmer.
and slow,
I
not
think
ideal
I'm pretty
conditions for a
close.
speedrun. So, instead, Riker Z decided to implement the first game-breaking trick of the run.
Oh shit! I just realized I'm not like undeaf muted in my Discord. Hold on. No, I super am. Kirby enemy.
This was
You're right, is the thing?
UC Pro just 2
There's like a very
years after
particular like whale boss in
It
Kirby.
takes some practice to get right, but thanks to the propeller suit and navigating and jumping at the correct times, it's possible to skip the entire stage by jumping on the platforms and blocks. Riker Z did so beautifully, making a few brief hesitations
Drawing a
but
Kirby.
still flying through. After 5-4 came the World 5 Ghost House, where Riker Z took the secret exit once again to unlock another cannon. This time,
I drew it on the coloring layer, so fuck it, we deal. Fuck it, we deal with it.
The fastest path through World 8 consists of
What? No, new coloring layer.
8-1,
This is an
8-2,
excellent look into how I draw.
the airship, and finally Bowser's Castle. In 8-1, Riker Z had to deal with randomly falling meteors, and he got hit twice. He powered back up, only to intentionally take damage again later on.
Yeah, that's Kirby.
In
Sure,
8-2,
that's Kirby.
Riker Z once again took the secret exit to
I'm just gonna
unlock
merge all
8-7,
these layers into one,
a
just
hidden
so.
level that bypasses most of World 8.
That-
8-7 itself is a long stage.
This is Kirby.
Jumping from spine coaster to spine coaster. World 8's airship isn't an auto-scroller like in previous games. Instead,
Oh, wait, no,
Riker Z
Kirby's
had to
shoes are, like, a different color.
Reverse it as quickly as possible. He picked up the
There
propeller
you go.
room again to jump across big gaps instead of having to wait and slowly bring the platforms down. The Bowser
hold on.
fight was simple, hitting him with 3 bombs that he dropped.
I need to like
And finally, there was Bowser's
have a
Castle.
good way to
Riker
get
Z
access.
used the propeller
You know what?
suit
I'm gonna
only
open a
to
different web
navigate
browser
the start,
and grab an image of
which
Whalmer
isn't always the fastest.
and see how close I
The
was.
last part of the run
Because the video can't
is
stop. I can't do that to the
where You
video.
have to guide Bowser's heat-seeking fireballs.
The
to
video
destroy the path in
Still
front of you,
stop.
Then navigate
The video
through
stops if there's another thing on top of it.
In all, Riker
Did I just accidentally open Minecraft?
26 minutes and 56 seconds. It was a good starting point. There were some obvious slowdowns that could be cleaned up, but no huge mistakes or deaths, and the video quickly went viral on YouTube. Over the next several months, RikerZ would continue running the game to push his time lower. At the end of 2011, he posted his first new time, a 25:49.
I actually looked up Whale Lord
This run
instead.
actually saved time over the
I am so bad at typing while my chair's
Most of
sideways
the
from it.
strategies were the same, but were better executed. In 5-1,
You know what?
for instance, he
I
dealt
forgot
with the
that
water
like they
much
had
better,
teeth separate from
jumping
like
out
their
earlier
underbelly
and
part.
just barely being able to make it to the end.
You know, like
One of
copy
the biggest
paste
time
this.
saves was in 8-1, where he managed to avoid getting hit by the meteors and didn't have to power back up. But the best
I
thing
really did
was
just draw a sad one, like
he guided the fireballs much better in the escape, using 9 fireballs to clear the path instead of 18 in his old record. In 2012,
I really did just make a sad Whalmer.
a 25:31 and a 25:27. These runs both
Oh, it's
optimized
hydration level time?
strategies and utilized
Wait a second.
techniques. In the escape, RikerZ was able to use just 7 fireballs to clear the path ahead, the fewest ever achieved.
Is this
In
the
8-2,
bit? What
he
bit?
picked up a star to get additional speed instead of damage.
Hold on, I have to
boosting
get
like Mario.
a drink because I
And in
completely
World
forgot
5,
to get that set
he
up.
chose to play
Enjoy
5-3
summoning salt.
instead of 5-2. It was a more difficult stage, but a slightly faster one if performed optimally. RikerZ had left his mark on New Super Mario Bros. Wii speedrunning. 4 world records in a year and a half. He stopped running the game. But then something very interesting happened. Despite years going by and many new runners emerging, RikerZ's world record remained unbroken. The leaderboard grew and players got better, but RikerZ's years-old effort was too much to top. Finally, in 2016, someone broke through. His name was GreenUpRooter, and he beat RikerZ by 1 second. But unfortunately, he didn't record it. GreenUpRooter had recorded competitive times before this run, and is a trusted community member, so his 25:26 is taken at face value, but it can't be viewed today. That left the world record in an awkward place. It had taken
I'm becoming a
3.5
React
years to
streamer?
shave one
This is just to keep y'all
unrewarded
entertained. This ain't... The summoning salt shit ain't
there
for
was
me.
no telling when it would be broken again. But in early 2016,
People
a
keep
new
throwing
runner
plastic
was climbing
bottles in the ocean. Whalmer's so
quickly,
sad.
it became inevitable that he was going to be the next record holder. In April 2016, he officially did it, closing out a 25:23 to beat GreenUpRooter by 3 seconds. But this guy wasn't just any world record holder.
Alright, let's
He had reached the top.
hide that layer
and
for the
he
next
would
one,
lead the stage
which was
for
the
a
fucking
long
barnacle
time.
one.
His name?
Just Ramen just like
Watchguard.
recommended the most like unremarkable fucking Pokemon that I forgot existed. Freaking Barbacle, that's what it is.
Ochguard had been around the speedrunning block before, achieving top
Like I
times in
don't
Mega
like
Man
saying that there's an ugly
Crash
Pokemon out there. I feel like
Racing,
Barbacle
and
is the
many
ugly
others.
Pokemon.
It makes sense that
Because
he
it's
was
like-
quickly able to get the record.
Unless I'm thinking of
Mario
completely the wrong Pokemon. But I'm pretty
what
sure I'm
nobody
not.
Expected is that the very next day
Because it's
he
like
did it again, a 25:22.
a rock.
Next day, another record, a 25:19. Ochguard had set 3 world
It has,
records
like,
in 3 days.
Two
He was more
things coming out of
consistent
it.
than any player who would come before him. meaning
Any
he
player
did
who have
tricks
come
more
before
often
him.
and made fewer mistakes. A
They have
big
like
place he saved
stripes on
time
them, I
was the
think.
escape, navigating through the platforms quicker and hesitating less. And overall, he was able to execute most tricks more cleanly, shaving fractions of a second off in several stages.
Familiarizing yourself with my own
After these
buttons.
records, Ochguard took a break from the game.
And then
Nobody came close to challenging him, with the closest active runner still being 16 seconds away. His skill level was far ahead of the rest, so he didn't really need to keep defending the record. But he came back in August anyway, and immediately got a 5-second world record. Ochgard's 25:14 was his
They're far from the
smoothest run
worst
yet.
slash ugly.
He cleaned up a small mistake in 5:3 from his last run, doing a small jump.
I super don't remember what like the heads on these even look like.
His 5:4 execution was also.
I just remember there being like
as he didn't
spikes on the
pound
top of
blocks he
them.
landed on and was able to continue moving. And in 8-1, he
That
didn't
they
slow
kinda
down
have
much while
upset
propelling
heads.
over the lava. These all added up to a few seconds of time save, and he didn't lose.
All right, I kind of like the face I drew on this one.
With
Not gonna-
25:14, Ochgard had pulled way ahead. 12 seconds ahead of second place.
I know they
and
have, like,
21 seconds ahead of any active runner.
Cool.
He'd set a
I don't know
total
why
of
my
4
program did
records,
that.
And barring any new developments, it seemed like nobody else had a real shot of catching him. But still, probably Ochgard's most unlikely feat was the 3-day streak of records
So it
he
was
had
like
back in April. Even
a
setting
coloring
record
layer.
on back-to-back days is extremely rare. So extending that streak to 3 days,
Like,
it practically never happens. Not only did it show complete dominance of a category, but it showed a level of
got some
consistency that was
orange.
unrivaled. It was undoubtedly a once-in-a-lifetime
Yeah,
accomplishment
Jinx.
for Ochgard.
You know what? Jinx does stand as the worst. You're right. I can actually super agree to that.
Yes, from August 16th through the 18th, Ochgard once again set 3 world records in a row.
I don't remember
Doing
what
this
color their
once was
heads are, like,
staggeringly
at all.
unlikely. But in all my years of research, I've never heard of someone doing it twice.
I'm just gonna make it like this
All
color.
3 records were 25:12s, but each one was slightly lower than the last. The time saves were minimal, but impressive in their own right. The first record had a particularly clean Bowser's Castle. The second cleaned up a mistake in 5:3, and the final shaved a fraction of a second on the rolling hills in 8:2. But still, these 3 records weren't good enough for Ochgard.
And there's
2
just
weeks
the
later,
rock, which
he'd lower it again with a 25:10.
we're just gonna do this too.
His 8th world record. Ochgard was quickly approaching a barrier, a sub 25-minute run. He was 10 seconds away. Did he have that much time left to save?
And I
Well,
think
there were still fractions
I
of a second
super don't remember what color the
between
spikes are. I'm just making the same color as the rock.
In terms of stuff he'd gotten in a run before, all that time save would put him at 25:05. Still 5 seconds away.
All things considered, I'm proud of the rock I drew at the very least. It has very defined
It
like
would be the
texturing.
hardest trick in the run by far, but it would get him to sub 25.
Sub 25.
Is 556. In the
Do some
second half of the World 5 Fortress, the spiked walls move back and forth on a cycle
do some
throughout
cleanup.
the entire level. Normally, with fast movement, you make it to the top and then have to wait a few seconds for the spikes to finish their cycle so you can get to the door. Typically,
Remember,
you enter the
color
door
doesn't
with
need to be
5
perfect in
seconds
sketches.
left on the timer.
You can just do what you want. You can do whatever you want. It's art.
Unbelievably fast movement, it's possible to barely reach the top a cycle early. You
I feel
can
like I did a
just
lot
fit
of
in
things like
before the
wrong,
spikes
particularly
move,
with like the head parts of them.
and you wind up reaching the door at 5.
But let me just look
This
up
was originally thought to
Barbacle
be
now.
wheel assisted only, as the precision involved is truly incredible. Your moves have to be
Barbacle
just
was the
right, where
evolution.
the instant you land, you have to be starting your next jump up. But in late August 2016, Ochgard became...
That's how much I forgot these guys. Barbacle is the evolution, not the first
He
form.
just barely squeezed in before the gap.
And even then I didn't do that great with the first form.
He proved that it was a human viable trick. It saves 7.5 seconds, since the in-game timer moves a bit quicker than a real second, which means that when combined with the stages of 25:05, a sub 25 was indeed technically possible. So the goal was now in sight. With nobody
I
else
did
close
pretty
to the
alright.
Ochgard was the only
I
one
got the
with
colors wrong, but I got the
It was
idea
still a long
basically
shot,
right.
But at least there was a narrow path to sub 25.
I completely forgot
He'd
about the
have to shave
dimples on the
time off
side.
wherever he could, then nail 556 to get the bulk of the time save. If he could pull all that off,
Alright, let's...
it would be an essentially unbeatable speedrun. For the rest
merge
of
this with the
2016,
other ones.
Oxguard played more than he ever had before.
He played
Over the
harder
next
than
few
any
months,
gamer ever had
This is
before.
what happened.
There is going to be a point where I need to start shrinking these. Yeah, there is sort of like just random white stripes in the center of them for some reason. Like, my color palette actually feels like it's a bit better. The fact that it's just like
You did.
Yes.
a freaking brown derived from the color orange that I used for the rest of their body. And even the color of the rock technically has a hint of orange in it. It's all orange tinted colors, baby, and it works.
After weeks of trying,
Honestly, I would have liked a like clownfish
the
Pokemon.
legendary, unimaginable sub 25.
The
This was very
unimaginable
close to
sub
being
25.
At the end of a run that had gone
Alright.
556,
Chad, give me another
that was
Pokemon.
5 seconds ahead of the record, Ochguard was able
Going
to get a
to
gold split on
Restraighten up
Bowser's Castle.
Canvas.
It was the fastest he had ever completed the last stage in a run.
How
His
come?
movement was impeccable, and he
Wooloo,
saved all
you
the
got
time he
it.
could.
Also, I realized that the
Finally
name of the
celebrated
capture for the video
He had
is
gotten his ultimate run,
Firefox.exe YouTube Poop Sexer 4K Ultra HD.
and so
This is not YouTube Poop Sexer 4K Ultra XD.
for the rest
This
of
is Summoning Salt
2016,
History of
around
New Super Mario Bros. Wii.
nobody was really doing world record attempts in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. The community considered Ochguard's time to be essentially
This is the new YouTube
And
Poop
it makes sense
Sexer.
why. First, you'd have to get 556, which fellow top runner Gix01
Oh, yeah.
described as a
I'll start drawing the Wooloo.
Then,
I saw a
find a way
thing
to
from
save time and
Tom Scott mentioning how he doesn't really like, goddammit, he doesn't really appreciate freaking people editing him into video games and stuff, and that's just making me think about the Tom Scott stream I did, and I'm pretty sure that that would qualify under things he's probably not not okay with. So I'm probably never doing that again, and I'm sorry, Tom.
Entering 2018, it really did seem as though Ochguard had achieved an unbeatable world record. Ochguard himself felt that maybe on the outer limit,
So,
a
Wooloo,
24.55
first thing we need?
would be possible. By doing quicker wall kicks in 5-4, doing spins later into jumps in the airship so Mario moved faster for longer, and other small optimizations like those.
Drawing is just
Fell short
shapes.
of calling
You
this
draw one
record
shape,
unbeatable.
and then you have the shape.
But it's clear that neither he nor anybody else in the community felt there was much wiggle room. And then in April 2018,
And I think they have a snoot.
this happened.
I know they have like
24
things on the side of them, like
How on
hair.
earth was that possible? Well, certainly this run pulled out all the stops, like 556, right? No, this run didn't have 556, so it lost a little.
forget how
over 7
Wooloo's
seconds.
eyes are done.
Well, certainly.
I wanna
this
say
time
they're
was achieved by an
dots.
established runner like Ochguard, right? No.
I'll get
it
to
was
this
from
soon.
a new runner named Fade Vanity. Alright, so what happened here? Well, Fade Vanity was a runner who quickly rose up the leaderboards in early 2018 until he had a low 25. He performed the 24:45 on April 13th, 2018, and other than missing 556, the run was incredibly smooth from start to finish. 8-2 in particular was fantastic, finishing with a nearly unheard of 424 on the in-game timer. But that's not why this run was the record. This run had a massive time save because of a
Yeah.
huge new trick in the airship. And that trick is called Bombless.
This is the ultimate Wooloo.
At the
Woohoo!
end of the World 8 airship, you have to fight Bowser Jr. The intended way to fight him is to wait for him to drop a bomb, then ground pound to send it back up to hit him. Do that 3 times and Bowser Jr. is defeated. For years, that's how players fought him in runs. However, in August 2017, runner I Love SMB found that in the world's 6th airship,
I think I gave them too much leg.
Bowser Jr. by jumping on him 3
Hold on.
times.
I feel like
instead of using
they have like little,
clown cars.
lot more stubby
Runners
legs.
then theorized that this could apply in the World 8 airship fight as well, which is what you do in an any percent run. However, the gap between Bowser Jr. and the top of the screen is
I
smaller
really
than
just
on
made a
the hitbox.
spherical
So
creature.
despite players trying, nobody could fit in the gap to hit Bowser Jr. on the head. For a few months, that was it.
I actually really like the
January
shape of you.
2018, former world record holder Green Up Rooter figured it out. The key was Bowser Jr.'s movement. He not only moves horizontally, but also vertically in a sinusoidal pattern, oscillating from a low point to a high point. So if you fly up to him, then perform a ground pound in a 1 to 2 frame window when Bowser Jr. is at the lowest point in his oscillation, Mario's hitbox briefly shrinks just enough to fit in the gap so you can hit Bowser Jr.
And I think you have
If
like,
you're able to pull this off,
little,
it saves
like-
13 seconds, an incredible amount of time.
I think this is your eye color.
The problem is, it's really difficult. The only way to practice it was to load a file with propeller shrooms, then play the second half of the stage
Then-
over and over.
Oops.
When Green Up Rooter first discovered it in January 2018, it was thought to be an RNG related trick because nobody could hit it with any consistency. In fact, it took 2 more months before somebody hit it in a run, when Gix got it in March. Doing bombless saves up to 13 seconds, but doing double bombless, where you skip 2 of the 3 bombs, saves up to 20. Triple bombless would actually lose time since simply ground pounding the other bomb is faster. But despite
I'm
double bombless being
I like
theoretically known to be
make this like a
possible,
really
nobody
pale-ish
had
color
ever
for-
performed it, even in practice.
I don't remember if their legs
You have
are
to hit the most precise trick
actually,
in the game
like
twice
wool or
more.
not, with little hooves at the
It
end.
just
I'm going
wasn't realistic.
to make the executive decision here to say,
So that's
yeah,
what
it's
made
all.
it even
What,
more crazy.
what?
When
I-
Fade Vanity got the
I realized why I can't
first
erase.
ever double bombless and finished the run as his 24:45 world record.
I did it! I did it! I did it, I did it, I did it. Oh my fucking god, I did it.
I am going to see if I can't like make a cool.
Sadly,
that's too much.
Fade Vanity quit speedrunning in 2021 and deleted all videos of his runs. So, many of his world records are lost today, including his 24:45.
Nah,
A
not a fan of
small
that
amount
color
of
just being
footage
randomly.
from this run and
run
others
around.
were preserved in Connor 01's record history video, so we can see glimpses of what he did. But when he set this record in April 2018, the community was absolutely shocked at his accomplishment. And still, there was clearly more time to save. He didn't get 556, so a run in the 2430s and possibly lower was possible. Fade Vanity was the new top runner of New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and while little footage remains of what he did over the next several months,
Sheep!
his impact and legacy continue to this day.
I don't think it's gonna any better than
Time
this.
still left on the table.
Actually, hold on. I think there is
Fade
one
Vanity
thing I'm missing. I
committed to
remember
his
like being a
and
weird
went all out
thing
to
at, like,
drive the record down.
there on them. I want to say. Yeah, we're drawing Pokemon from memory. This is Wooloo. I want to see how close I was. I forgot the ears.
Let's go, let's go.
I forgot the
let's
ears
go.
and horn.
Fucking did it, let's go. 3x, come on.
I also drew the eyes wrong, but I still like the eyes I drew. Like, oh. I also didn't color in the nose. I still think my sheep is pretty good. let's make all these one layer.
Let's take a
Zoom
stroll
out.
over to the new Super Mario Bros. Wii leaderboards. You've got a number of runners with a low 25-minute time, and a few that had just broken into the 24-minute barrier, with the
And it's
lowest
at
being
this point, I need to
24.57.
start like probably adjusting sizes.
Then you have Fade Vanity, one of the most dominant record holders in all of speedrunning. He had
All
set
right.
5 records now, and when combining 556, double bombless, and tight execution all around, he
Celestella?
managed to take it under 20.
What the hell was Celestella? Was that an Ultra Beast?
Fade took a break after this.
That
and
was-
his record
was that the
really
tall
didn't
Ultra
seem to
Beast?
be in jeopardy. A few months went
Like
by,
the one that's a
and
fucking
while
big-ass
runners like
cannon?
Coding Boy and DCA did creep into the 2440s, there was still a lot of separation. It had turned into a battle
can
for second
probably
place, which
remember
changed
how that
things a
one
few
looked.
times in late 2019. But nobody had a chance of catching Fade Vanity. Nobody had his consistency or skill. As for Fade himself, he initially didn't have much of a need to continue playing the category. But by early 2020,
I'm realizing I don't
new
remember a
strategies
lot
were
of what
found once again.
this Pokemon looks
The
like.
days of huge time saves seem to be in the past, but minor strategies like this would be crucial in
The
finding
fuck did your
items
body
in the
look like?
record. They both came in World 8 and were both found by Astix. In 8-1, normally
What the
Astix
fuck did this thing
would
look
slow
like?
down and
They're kind
hovering
of
over
bent
the
a bit.
lava. However, by picking up and carrying a shell,
I think they had like
you can throw it and end
big
Mario's
side
speed,
hands.
meaning you slow down much less. In 8-2,
Like-
the rolling hills throughout the stage can destroy your speed. However, Astix found that by crouch jumping and releasing the crouch at the top of the jump, Mario's speed is reset back to normal, and once again,
I'm realizing I'm just making a rocket ship of a
in
face.
total, these tricks saved about a second and a half, meaning the potential was there for Fade to continue lowering the record. And on January 9th, 2020, that's exactly
This
what
is-
he did.
Probably incredibly wrong.
Yes! Broke the tie.
Broke the tie? What tie?
This fucking
Well,
face
the
is
new Super
perfect
Mario
though.
Bros. Wii leaderboard was going through a transition at this point. See, whenever the game fades to black, it's loading what comes next. These loads vary from disc to disc, console to console, or even within the same disc or console. Each load might only vary by a few tenths of a second, but over the course of a run,
Fucking colors
this
were you?
can
Were you
add up
like
to 15
green
to 20
adjacent? I think you were
seconds.
green adjacent.
That means that a player can have a much faster run, but fall behind because of loading times outside of their control. So, the community was transitioning towards subtracting all loads out of the final time. This would level the playing field, and as a byproduct, lower the time of each run by a bit over 2 minutes.
This is a forgotten
24:29
VeggieTales character,
led to a
maybe.
time of 22:20
I could
without
see
loads.
it. They're
In
made of
January
celery.
2020, a runner named U-Video completed a run of 24:35 with loads at the
I think this is my worst one so
Five
far,
Fade's
but
run when retimed
Lamau.
without loads. Hence the comments at the end of Fade's run. It ended up being just behind it with a 22:23. But when Fade got his 24:20,
I made a
that
pre-Evo.
really
Let's
fell
go.
back, and Fade was securely on top once again. In March 2020, timing without loads was made official, and the world record was now a 22:19. It's also worth
I don't know
mentioning
what I'm
that
doing with these colors.
players discovered that the
I wanna
way
say
they
there's, like,
originally
a
retimed
stripe.
runs added a couple
I feel like there's a
seconds to
stripe.
races. Fade's 22:19 was originally timed as a 22:21, but for this video I'll be using retimed times for accuracy. Through the
I
first few
literally
months of
cannot remember
2020,
any more
the
details
lead
about
was
this. How
starting to get
how
tiny.
close am I?
The record remained the same, but people
Let's
like U-Video were now
go,
just seconds away.
Pokemon.
Fade Vanity had been in the top
Hmm.
spot for over 2 years, setting
I'm nowhere
6
close.
records and lowering the time by half a minute in the process. He was the third long-lasting record holder in the game's history. mirroring the domination that Riker
Wow, I was
lost
so
had.
far off.
But other players were starting to catch up. Everyone's record brain needs to end someday. And with increased pressure at the top of the leaderboard, it seemed inevitable that a breakthrough was coming. And on July 2nd, that breakthrough finally came. This is Pidgey. Pidgey was early on a clear candidate to take the record. He was a former world record holder in
This
New
is
Super Mario
so
Bros. On the DS, so making the switch to the Wii version came naturally to him. After running the game for just a few
Oh
months,
my
Pidgey was
god.
within seconds of Fade Vanity's time. And on July
This is
2nd,
it.
2020, he got a 2219.4.
Holy
Just barely
fuck,
ahead of
I'm
Fade Vanity for a new
I'm
world
never going to
These
do anything
strategies
worse than
of
this, I
World
think.
5 were a key for this run. There was an even easier method for getting 556, developed by Tutti Polo. By doing an additional wall kick here, you're
Alright.
set up to more easily make it to the second wall kick.
I think it's time
Have
to
a
just
much
start.
better chance at getting the fast cycle. And in 5-3, Monster found a trick nicknamed the Weird Shell Strat. If you're fast enough, you arrive at this Koopa right after he stops to dance, and can then pick him up to kill the Bram Ball and save half a second. There's
Readjusting
also
some sides so I
randomness
can
on
fit
the
more on
overall
here.
maps. The World 1 Goomba moves 3 times clockwise, meaning there's one direction he never moves.
One
If
Direction?
this one direction is up, you save 35 frames, since the Goomba's up animation takes the longest. On the other hand, if that one direction is down, you lose that time, since down is his shortest animation. World 5 has similar randomness with the Piranha Plant, but it's less understood than the Goomba.
Funniest
These
fucking
two
one.
spots have about a second of time variance combined, which is entirely out of the player's control. So, in July 2020, this was the state of the new Super Mario Bros. Wii leaderboard. In first place, you had Pidgey.
Alright, I remember there was another
Clearly
design.
had enormous potential. And just a half second behind him, you had Fade Vanity, the veteran who had proven himself time and time again. So,
It's
who was
like,
better? Well, just
so
4 days
Ndidi
later,
was one
Pidgey
of them.
set his second world record.
A Pokemon I don't
Slightly lower
think about.
2219. He saved time by successfully getting the shell boost in 8-1.
Here's the thing
but
with
lost
me.
it in Bowser's Castle.
I didn't play
2
Sword and
records
Shield,
in a row
and I'm pretty sure Ndidi's a Sword and Shield
Seems he
Pokemon.
might be there to stay.
Granted, so was Wooloo, but I saw Wooloo everywhere on the internet. And also, that's just a sheep.
He got a 2218, marking the first time in the game's history that someone reclaimed
We'll
the record.
try and draw Ndidi.
The time save mostly came from optimizing movement, and Fade was back
Oh,
on
whoops.
top. 6 days later, he was dethroned. A 2216 from Pidgey, a run that matched the fastest he had ever performed Bowser's Castle before. In October, a 2215 from Pidgey. A month later, a lower 2215 from Fade Vanity.
Have
2
like
weeks later, a
legs.
new record from Pidgey. That was 7 world records in the last 5 months. One new option they had was Bombful in 5-4. This stage had many small movement optimizations over the years, but Bombful was the biggest one. Yacker Tracker found that if you precisely jump off the first bomb, spin at the right time to bounce off the second bomb, then
think
do
you had, like, a
blind
little
twirl and
poofy
bounce off
there.
the third bomb, it's possible to make it to the end of the stage without hesitating. It saves 2 seconds, but is incredibly difficult, and
With, like,
most
little
players
horns on the
didn't choose to
side.
implement it. A few months later, Pidgey would strike again with a remarkable 2213. But in May,
And now comes the part where I
probably
don't
the
remember
most bizarre
fucking
moment
shit. I
in the
think you have
game's
little
history took
hooves, so.
place. A runner named Skippy had been a world record contender for months, but perpetually remained a few seconds behind the top spot. His skill level was right there, but stringing everything together for a world record run is incredibly challenging. On May 2nd, Skippy got a run off to a good start, essentially remaining
I'm actually
tied with
structuring this face.
through World 5. However, he started bleeding time in World 8, with a worse transition into the pipe in 8-2 and some sloppy movement in the airship. Combined, these lost him a couple seconds, so despite matching Pidgey's Bowser's Castle, a new record was out of the question. Still, after the run he subtracted the loads, and he could see how much he missed the record by. He hadn't missed the record.
I don't
Skippy
remember
just
what-
gotten a 22-13
You have, so I'm just giving you hair.
A new
I'm realizing I'm
world
just
record
giving you
by
hair
7.
now.
This did not make sense. He was tied going into World 8, then lost some time and finished the run. He didn't gain that time back anywhere. It was still a very well executed run, but this should not have been world record. Yet somehow, the time was faster than Pidgey's run. What happened?
What happened?
Well, the community looked into it. Runner Curran Joseph made a video removing all gameplay from Skippy's run, leaving just the overworld screens and cutscenes. He then compared this video to Pidgey's non-gameplay sections. Everything was roughly in sync through Worlds 1 and 5. But then, they arrived at the cutscene after stage 8-7.
Super don't remember much about you. This eye looks wrong.
There it was. Skippy's cutscene was almost 2 seconds faster. Curran quickly figured out why. You have the choice of playing New Super Mario Bros. Wii in a 4x3 or 16:9 aspect ratio.
Last time I forgot ears, it went bad for
Skippy
me.
played on a CRT TV, so he selected the 4x3 mode. The game runs identically in each mode for an any percent run, except during the cutscene after 8-7. In 4x3, black bars are added to the top and bottom of the screen. The game still loads these regions despite them not appearing visible. So, the airship above stage 8
Wow, that ear looks wrong.
when it's off screen, and the camera stops moving about 2 seconds sooner. Despite this seeming like an obvious find, players didn't discover this before Skippy's run because nearly all runners played on a flat screen in 16:9 mode. In fact, only one prior record holder played in 4x3. Riker Z, way back in 2011 and 2012. The time save wasn't known about back then, so with it being unearthed nearly a decade later, there were suddenly 2 more seconds on the table. So now, at the top of the leaderboard, you had 3 real
I
record
have
contenders.
no idea what color palette
Skippy
you
was
have.
the first obvious one. He was the current record holder, and while he may have benefited from the faster cutscene,
I'm just
he was
gonna
still an incredibly
guess.
talented runner.
Because I remember
Second contender
like,
was Pidgey. All he
Rays.
had done was set the record 6 times in the past, and he was still competing to lower it. But the third contender was someone I haven't mentioned yet. Someone who had snuck up to the top with a 22:15, just 2 seconds behind the record. This is Billy Joe 66.
this is Billy Joe
began to ascend up the
42069.
leaderboards in late 2020. By the end of the year, he was in the top
Hello.
10, and a month later, he was a bona fide record contender. He'd had a tragic run in February that hit Bombful in 5-4 and was about 3 seconds ahead of the record into Bowser's Castle. Unfortunately, he misguided a fireball and had to use an extra one, and upon retiming the run, he missed world record by half a second. But Billy didn't give up there. He did thousands of attempts, and partially thanks to the boost given by playing on 4x3, he found himself on world record pace with regularity. And a few weeks after Skippy's record, Billy was on another run deep. He lost a bit of time in the second half of World 5, but cleaned up the mistakes that Skippy had made in World 8. With about
And
half
you get a
second
pink
lead,
nose.
he entered Bowser's Castle and tried to close it out for good. Billy's run finished at 20.
I feel like this is another one that's probably not that close.
A world record
Because
by
I
just
super
under
don't
a
remember Ndidi.
He was now the 7th record holder in the game's history, and he had earned it. This was his 59th run to the airship since his last major personal best. He had finally been able
So,
to chain together
there is
double
2
bombs
forms
and a
to
clean
Ndidi.
Bowser's Castle. and the result was a world record.
And like,
Once again, the game was approaching a barrier, with all time saves being
I don't know how to
utilized,
describe
a time
what kind of
under
creature this
2210
Pokemon
was
is.
starting to seem feasible.
It's not a sheep,
But what time was left to
but it's
save?
not exactly not
Well,
a sheep in
most of it
certain
was in
ways.
World 5. Cleaner movement would save a second in 5-4, and Bombful would save a couple more. There were also minor improvements to be made in the
Like-
Fortress and Ghost House. Those time saves
Yeah, they have a
would add
simple
up to
design, I
around
just don't look at
under
them.
2210. But there was work to do to get to that point. The record was still about 2.4 seconds away from a sub 2210. As time goes on, most speedruns see smaller and smaller improvements.
They
to
have
their
pause,
records,
but they have
and
like,
New Super Mario Bros.
what?
Wii was
What kind of
no
animal are
exception.
these supposed to be?
The last several records had all been improvements by
They're just
a
creature.
second,
I actually kinda love
half a
them for it.
second, or even less than that. To get an improvement of 2.4 seconds, you have to go 11 records back in time to Fade Vanity's 2429. The point is, it was gonna take a while to get the record under 2210. Multiple improvements would have to be made, and players would have to grind hundreds or thousands of
Let's
attempts.
zoom out a bit.
An
Oh,
incredible
come on.
run was
I
on
keep
the horizon,
accidentally doing that.
but it would take time to get it there. And then, in one attempt, Pidgey decided
Esper?
to lay waste to it all.
Yeah, I can probably do Esper.
He saved the time in World 5.
What
hitting everything but Bombful.
am I doing? I'm
He got
making
the
everything
shell boost
visible
in
again.
8-1 and the crouch jumps in 8-2. After hitting double bombless, it became all the more real. This was easily world record pace, but was it sub 2210 pace? Maybe. It was
Maybe.
right on the border between 2209 and 2210. It was coming down to the wire.
I feel like I probably could have done better with Indeedee, but that's just a Pokemon I haven't looked at in ages. Alright, Esper. At least Esper shouldn't be too hard because they're just...
New Super Mario Bros. Wii has motion controls for certain actions. If you shake the Wii remote with the propeller suit, you fly into the air. Pidgey had made it to the end, then put down his controller to hit the split button, but he did it a fraction of a second too soon, and it registered as a
Autism
split.
creature? Yeah.
At first, the community wasn't sure if this would still be a world record. They couldn't tell until they removed the
I'm making,
logo and
like,
retimed it.
The
when
wrong
they
kind of
did,
first style for Esper.
Pidgey found out that he had missed the world record by 2 frames. It goes without saying how hard it is to come back from moments like this, when you're so close and lose your ultimate goal to something as trivial as motion controls. And it's exceptionally hard to accept when you have competitors like Pidgey did. Billy still had the
Hold
world
on.
record, and
I need
Skippy
to
was just
already
1
add
second
colors
behind.
just for my own sake.
He had done nearly 4,000 attempts, ran the game for over
This is
2
more
years,
lemur than it is cat,
and
I
never
feel.
had a pace this good
Which is
this
wrong.
deep into the run. And sadly, there was no telling when he'd get there again. 11 days later, Pidgey had pulled a Dave Steeb. It took him just a week and a half to get back on the exact same pace. And I mean the exact same pace.
The more
It
I
was almost
do,
an identical
the more
run from
autism creature it becomes. I love it.
He'd had a nearly flawless World 5 other than skipping Bombful, and hit the same tricks in World 8. He nailed double bombless, and just like that, Pidgey had given himself another chance. Once again, he had to get through the escape.
Hold up, I'm utterly changing how the face is done.
Redemption.
I'm just gonna make
This
2
missed
large
11 days
spherical
ago could have haunted him
orbs.
for months.
I'm going full into it.
In one straight shot, Pidgey had jumped all the way to sub 2210. It was a landmark world record, and as the community celebrated, it was pretty clear that this one was gonna stand for a while. There were still other competitors at the top, but Pidgey had gotten nearly everything you could get in a speedrun of the game. It was too tall of an order. And so, throughout the rest of 2021 and into 2022, Pidgey's 2209 remained alone at the top. In early 2022, competition continued to increase. New names appeared in the top 10, and pressure was starting to mount. But Pidgey's records still remained strong. The fact that he had gotten a 2209 when nobody else could get below a high 2211 was indicative of his skill level. Even after months of attempts from the world's best runners, no one was beating it. The simple fact was, without getting Bombful in 5-4, Pidgey's record would be next to impossible to beat, and nobody was up to the task of getting it in a fast enough run. Until Billy came back. On March 26th, 2022, Billy had a fairly clean run into World 5. He hit Bombful in 5-4, gaining a couple of seconds over the record and instantly making his run much more serious. He then gained
These eyes aren't doing it either.
House via the meme jump through the boom.
I need to just get a perfect circle for the eyes. It's so fucking important.
So despite making it
Where's
through
the fucking...
Wallace, he was about even with the record into Bowser's Castle. He'd need an unbelievable last stage for this to have a shot at the record. And all Billy did was proceed to have the best Bowser's Castle ever performed in a record run. And he beat Pidgey by less than 0.2 of a second. This run is the current world record of New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Sub 22 might seem close, but right now it's quite unrealistic. A theoretical God run could clock in a few seconds above 22 minutes, but it's hard to see a path to a record below that at the moment. That being said, I have little doubt it will one day come. Eventually, we'll hear of a 21-minute any percent run, but that day is not today. This is the history of New Super Mario Bros. Wii World Records. Thanks for watching.
There we go. This is Esper. I know they have fur on their face. I just don't remember how it looks. Like, this looks a lot more correct. Oh, goodness. And I just need to make, like, this arm a little longer, too. I feel like a good addition. Well, first of all, I need to, like, make your fur the correct kind of gray.
He had done it again.
Why did this one start?
2 out of 3 shortcut.
Why did that one start like halfway through? Oh.
This is Mario Kart Double Dash, and for a decade and a half, it was known as one of the most polished games in the Mario Kart franchise. Most entries in the series are loaded with game-breaking shortcuts. 64 is famous for its large skips. Wii has a faulty checkpoint system. Super Circuit is perhaps more broken than any other. These games all have healthy time trial competition, and both non-shortcut and shortcut world records that have been tracked for many years. But then there's Mario Kart Double Dash. Immediately upon its release in 2003, a shortcut was found on Waluigi Stadium. And for the next 15 years, that was it. Double Dash has always had a competitive time trial.
I have an idea.
scene, but it's been nearly exclusively
I feel like my
non-shortcut
design is off, but
with
I can
one exception.
sell their power
Developers have
still.
managed to create a shortcut-free game. For years, Double Dash's speedrun scene grew, as players mastered its racing mechanics and optimized non-shortcut races. But all of a sudden, in 2018, Double Dash's reputation as a shortcut-free game was put on its head. A game that was almost completely void of any glitches quickly became one of the most broken in the franchise. This is the story of the Mario Kart Double Dash.
They're so
Shortcut
powerful.
Revolution.
I feel like I should be a lot more accurate considering how much I hang out with Ramen, and Ramen loves Esper.
First off, what is a shortcut? Well, to count as an official shortcut in the Mario Kart time trial community, it not only has
Yeah.
to save time,
Yeah.
but also be unintended by the developers.
It's
For
hard to
instance,
remember
the jump at
Pokemon,
the
right?
start of Yoshi Circuit doesn't count as a shortcut, since it was intentionally built into the course. Double Dash came out in November 2003. We
Alright.
don't know who discovered it, and it's unknown exactly.
They're
when it
basically
came
the
out,
same.
But by the end of 2003, a shortcut had been discovered.
I forgot how they have, like...
15 years, it would remain the only
I
shortcut.
forgot how their fur worked.
This is Waluigi Stadium.
But look at how powerful they are together.
About 2/3 of the way through a lap, you can drive off this slope and hit into the fence with enough speed to get thrown into the air. If you make it high enough, Lakitu thinks you fell off from this bridge, which is right before the finish line, so he picks you up and places you down there. It saves just under 2 seconds per lap and can be performed on all 3 laps. While it's unclear exactly when this trick was discovered, it's known to have existed within a month and a half of the game's release. And quickly, there was discussion on the Double Dash forums over whether or not shortcut times should be put on the website. Ultimately, the community decided that since the shortcut was one of a kind, it wouldn't be tracked on the website. So, the players page contained a
take a
space
sip.
for non-shortcut records on every track, but nothing for Waluigi Stadium shortcut. Still, some players chose to drive shortcut races anyway. Records began to be set in December 2003, but video proof was much less strict back then.
Alright.
Even more so for an unofficial category not on the main
How
website.
much of these
However,
Pokemon have I done that have been,
one
like,
video from back then
later
still
gen
exists.
Pokemon?
A run from
1, 2,
2004
3, 4,
Yep, it
5.
looks like it's from 2004, alright.
All but one
Strategy he used
have
was
been the
execute
3D era.
turbos. By starting adrift with R, moving the stick in the opposite direction and back to neutral twice, and then releasing R, you get a short boost of speed.
It's wild to think about that the next Pokemon gen is
And Ipu
Gen
Shortcut
10, meaning that half the
constantly
Pokemon games have been 3D. Or
He also
mainline
did a
games.
shortcut on the right slope instead of the left, which was
'Cause
slower
Gen
but
5 was the
likely
last
a bit
2D.
easier. The biggest
That's wild.
technique discovered
Fuck,
was
time
phase
stop
tech.
working.
First seen in runs from 2004, but expanded upon by JSX in February 2006. If you release Accelerate between mini turbos, the cart sways back and forth.
Oh shit, Black Friday soon,
saving
isn't it?
Fractions of a second.
I just like had the random thought of just like, man, I should buy something. Wait, isn't the big
Thanks to
buying
that
day
and
happening
other
soon?
small driving optimizations, the record still sees competition to this day,
Shit.
with the most
I need Black
recent
Friday
world
money.
records being set in late June 2022. But it all started back in 2003. Double Dash was
I don't know
brand new.
what other Pokemon to
There was
do.
reason to believe that this shortcut was just the beginning.
Has my PG... Okay, no, my PG Super has been talking this whole time. I have not been looking.
That's how it went for previous games in the franchise, and that appeared to be happening in Double Dash just the same. But instead,
Well, let me
this game's history took a
let me
different
go into one of the
Years
groups.
passed, still no new shortcuts. The game's time trial scene grew bigger and bigger, and by the mid-2000s it was
Just
vibrant.
going into a Discord group, just like give me a Pokemon to draw from memory. Do it.
Other than the occasional Waluigi Stadium race, the competition was exclusively non-shortcut. The focus was on optimizing every
Why'd the
last
video
millisecond
stop?
from the 16 courses.
Why does the video stop?
Performing more mini turbos.
I've been given a Pokemon.
A-Tech. By 2008, Mario Kart.
It's Snorlax time.
And within months, that game had massive ultra shortcuts breaking its tracks. Mario Kart Double Dash, several years older, still had just one shortcut. The years continued to pass, and suddenly, 5 years turned into 10. Still, there was nothing new. Mario Kart Double Dash was an unbreakable game, and that's all there was to it. In over a decade of searching, absolutely nothing had been found. Well, okay, there was one thing. In Mario Kart Double Dash, courses are surrounded by invisible planes that are nicknamed Lakitu zones. When you fall off a track and collide with one of these zones, that's Lakitu's cue to pick you up and drop you back on the track. But this system isn't perfect. Suppose you fall off and manage to not hit a Lakitu zone. What happens?
Looks too sad.
Well,
How do I
in that
draw
case,
sleep?
You've officially made it out of bounds, and Lakitu still picks you up, but he sets you back somewhere a bit different. No matter where you go out of bounds, Lakitu sets you just behind the finish line. Since you never hit a Lakitu zone, the game doesn't know where to put you, and sets you down right at the end of the course. Unfortunately, crossing the finish line doesn't count a lap, but at the very least this did provide some intrigue. If players could somehow figure out a way to
Think
get
that's
lap
a
to
good
count,
Snorlax.
warping straight to the finish line would save massive time. Out-of-bounds mechanics were discovered shortly after the game's release, but for
That's
many
too much.
years it wasn't paid much attention. Despite its promising nature, the simple fact was that without getting the lap to count, it wasn't really a useful trick. But still, for the next 15 years, players wondered if maybe there was something that could be done with it. Some way that the lap could count and have a shortcut be discovered. And then 2018 came around. The champion of Mario Kart Double Dash at that point was named Goomba, and in August, he saw this random guy's video on Mario Kart Wii. And in it, he saw that game's
Some
community
random guy.
figure out the checkpoint system and use it to break courses and create massive shortcuts. Meanwhile, in 15 years of Double Dash, its checkpoint system had yet to be solved. But was it possible? Could a lap count when most of the driving is skipped? Well, Goomba
Dude
finally
is
decided
sleeping.
enough was enough. He began a deep dive into the inner workings of the game, attempting to figure out exactly what conditions had to be met for a lap to count. And
I
over
don't feel
the
like
course
it's
of several
exactly
months,
the correct
with
color.
the
I
contributions
won.
of community members like Lothjohn and Tarsa,
This is
Mario
closer.
Kart Double Dash's code was cracked. There are 3 conditions that must be met for a lap to count in Mario Kart Double Dash. Condition 1. You must start the lap in Checkpoint 0, the first checkpoint on the map. Each course in the game is broken up into invisible
Then, got a
checkpoints.
funny
which
guy,
are
you got a
used to
funny
help
guy
keep
right
track of
here.
how far you've driven. This condition is pretty straightforward. For a new lap to start, you must be touching the first checkpoint of the course. Condition 2. You must have credit for driving through every checkpoint. Checkpoint bit counters in the game keep track of whether or not you've touched any given checkpoint during a lap. If you haven't, it's set to 0, and if you have, it's set to 1. In order for a lap to count, every checkpoint must have a bit counter set to 1, which would intuitively mean that you're not allowed to skip driving through any checkpoints. However, on Waluigi Stadium,
I think the
you
ears for
skip
that color.
several when performing
This
the
dude
shortcut.
is big
Why does
nap
laps not
time.
count? Well, that's because there's a workaround. If you hit a Lakitu zone and get picked up, you automatically get credit for every checkpoint between where you got picked up and where you were placed down. It's known as a lack hop, and is the only way around having to touch every single checkpoint. And finally, condition 3. Your race completion must be greater than your number of laps completed. Double Dash has an internal counter called race completion that starts at 0
I need to
and
like
gradually increases as you drive around the course.
that help it.
Once you complete a lap, it hits 1 and
Not
then
quite,
continues
but
counting up again.
dude,
The reason this
this is
matters
a
is because it
sleepy
feels like
fucking
the
guy.
developers put into the game, the 50% rule. If
My
race
memory
completion
is
ever
not
jumps
great.
up by 50% or more, it rounds down and you lose credit for all you've
I
done
am
in the
correctly
lap.
spherical though. I know that much.
So, if you go out of bounds 30% of the way through a track, then are warped to the finish line, your race completion is set to just below 0. Since this is less than the 0 laps that you
Oh
completed,
fuck! Your face
you
isn't
won't get
pure
credit for the
blue,
lap. Together,
and your
these
feet
three
are
rules
circles as
exist
well.
to prevent any shortcuts from existing in Mario Kart Double
Why
Dash.
can't I remember details like that?
15 years, they worked nearly flawlessly. Goomba hadn't figured this all out by late 2018, but he had a general
I
understanding
also like
of how it
did a
worked.
color wrong.
Now, he had to
That's
put it all
fine.
together somewhere, and the course he looked at was Mushroom Bridge. He had to not only get credit
Excuse
for
me?
driving through all the checkpoints, but also avoid cutting
Copy?
out more than 50% of the course at a time.
Face.
It was gonna have to be a two-step process. To get checkpoint credits,
There it
he
is.
took the lack hop mechanic to the next level. By going on the grass just before the finish line, you can use a mushroom and release brake at the last moment to fly forward and hit the Lakitu zone. This zone is in front of the finish line, but because of where you hopped off,
Damn.
you're put back just before the finish line. And since you get credit for all checkpoints between where you're picked up and where you're set down, you get credit for every
I feel like
checkpoint on the
my
course.
guy is like even larger
That
though.
was step 1. The next step was to get race completion for the lap to count. Together with Lothjon, Goomba took a look
Oh my
at
god,
the grid
please.
right before the
It's
start.
so sensitive
By
with wanting to do
precisely
that.
jumping off at about 87% completion, you can hit the wall on the other side at about 37%. This is a decrease of only 50%, so it's valid as far as the game is concerned. You then respawn at 85%, once again less than 50%, and have therefore earned race completion for an entire lap.
I don't think I'm ever living this one down still, though.
Lap hop to get checkpoints,
I just fucking remembered.
turn around and quickly do a bridge hop to get race completion. That satisfies both conditions 2 and 3, so if you drive over the finish line to enter the first checkpoint box, a lap counts. On September 15th, 2018, Double Dash's first shortcut in 15 years was born.
Oh
Goomba's
shit, the
first
mushroom
three-lap record
break.
with video clocked in at 115.639, about 2.5
Fuck,
seconds
what else do I
non-shortcut
do?
record. He drove the first lap normally, then performed a shortcut on lap 2, and finished with a normal lap 3. Doing the shortcut more than once per race wasn't possible, as you needed a mushroom for the lap.
I am gonna
and the mushrooms were
screenshot
taken
what
away
I've
when
done.
picked up by Lakitu. Over the following few days, Goomba and a runner named J98 would trade the record down to a 114, each time doing the shortcut once and driving 2 laps normally. However, Goomba then figured out it was possible to do the lap
Goomba.
hop without a mushroom. By going on the pillar next to the bridge, you have sufficient height that you can bounce off the ground and make it far enough without using a mushroom. This not only was faster than the old method, but also meant that, theoretically,
There we go.
the shortcut could now be done more than once in a race. However, doing the bridge jump once was hard enough. Doing
How's it
twice in
only
a
been
row
an hour?
seemed nearly out of the question. Later in September, J98 and Goomba each did more Mushroom Bridge attempts.
I've like
lowering the
already
record to
ran
111,
out of ability to like
but still,
think.
nobody was able to get the shortcut more than once in a race.
Art does things to my
Players focused
brain.
their efforts elsewhere, and the task of hitting 2 shortcuts was just too daunting. For over a year, that's where the record stood. But in March 2020, someone began playing Mushroom Bridge Shortcut.
I am just gonna
Only
continue
this
watching
time,
Summoning
it
Salts
wasn't
though,
Goomba or J98.
because
He's a relative newcomer.
we'll finish this video,
One who is ranked outside of
which is like
40,
30 more
but
minutes.
he was ready to
That's
try
probably-
and take down a world
I should
record.
probably update my stream information then, actually. We've went from art to just chilling.
Was Mathy. Mathy didn't have
Now
the
I'm a
drive to
reaction
still
streamer.
be a world champion like Goomba. That meant that without anything new, his 111 was going to be awfully tough to beat. But he had one other option. He could go for 2 shortcuts in the same race.
No way.
It had never successfully been pulled off before, but even with worse driving, it could be enough to beat Goomba. Mathy got to work grinding attempts, getting as good as he could at the bridge hop and lack hop. And on March 2nd, 2020, he had this
I
attempt.
don't remember the last time I even played a Mario Party game. Must have been like fucking ages ago at this point, because I think the last time I played was the Wii U version of Mario Kart 8, which came out how long ago at this point? Like, fuck. I should play Mario Kart.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit.
I'm gonna move my mic.
Alright, don't freaking lose this. Oh my god! There! It's so bad! But that's it. That's it. Sub 111. Let's go.
A new record by less than a tenth of a second. Not to be outdone, world champion Goomba came back, and over the next few days, the two of them traded world records. However, over the next several months, Mathy would pull ahead, as he was able to line up faster for the lack hop and improved his driving around the course.
Yeah, let's fucking go, dude. 107, 325.
Is there an Esper
So
on my
now,
head?
A 1 out of 3 shortcut run had been optimized. A 2 out of 3 shortcut run had been optimized. There was only one
There
thing
we
left
go.
to do. Hit the shortcut on
Hit
all
the
3
gritty.
laps. A 3 out of 3 run was
I need to get
originally
back
thought
into making more
be
music.
slow, since
I'm
you
just
couldn't
listening to this
line
and
up
I'm
for a
just-
lack hop after driving a lap normally.
I haven't been making music much
However,
lately, and I really
in
need to get back to it.
2022, Mathy tested with Sage
But making
confirmed
music is
that
hard.
if performed optimally enough,
Creating in general
a
is
3 out of 3
fucking,
shortcut run would
like, it's
indeed save
fun,
time.
and yet my brain can just go like, you can't do this anymore. And I'm just like, why? And it just
Matthew
like
got
disappears.
quite
It's just like,
good at
oh, okay.
executing the lack hop
Sure.
and bridge hop over the years, but he would need to do 3 of each in a row. That's 6 consecutive difficult tricks. It could take a while to grind this out, but just 4 days later, Mathy got himself on this run.
Go. Let's go. This definitely works. Pog. Poggiest Pog.
Hey, you can't say Poggiest Pog. I say that.
Let's go.
I don't think I've ever said that before, but I'm now claiming it.
Here we go.
Please! Oh, come on! Ah, 104!
He He was a bit upset because he wanted a 103, not a 104. But history
It's
has
so
told him
wild how
this 104.363,
like 1 second, not even 1 second, it's just like anything around that fucking 103 area,
as far as shortcut discoveries are concerned,
it can make such a
this was
fucking
2018.
difference.
And at this point,
People's
the only
expectations
time
being
trial
set
shortcuts
on
in the
like
game
microseconds
were
is
Wonderly Stadium
wild.
2003
Speedrunning is a
and
crazy
Mushroom Bridge
sport.
in 2018. But just a month later, thanks to a better understanding of how checkpoints worked, Double Dash's third time trial shortcut would be discovered. Welcome to Bowser's Castle. Bowser's Castle was quickly singled out.
I'm jamming out to the music, I'm not gonna lie.
The reason why is because of the balcony. About 40% of the way through a lap on Bowser's Castle, you drive on a balcony.
This isn't
directly
Pokemon.
adjacent
I literally just like took a break and or might be
you're
stopping.
higher
I don't
up on
know.
the same balcony. It seemed natural.
Because here's
that
the thing,
with
I was
so
like
many
asking
rooms
for a
so
Pokemon to
close
draw,
together, you could somehow get
and
credit further in the lap
it just sort of
than
slowed down to the point now I'm just doing this.
For a while, it didn't.
Do you want me to draw a Pokemon? I can go right back to it.
However, after Mushroom Bridge's discovery, Lothjon and Goomba looked into Bowser's Castle. And thanks to exploiting a specific game mechanic, they figured out how to use the balcony to their advantage. This is the A-Tech Hop. As mentioned before, A-Tech is when you release the A button between mini-turbos to keep a straighter line. However,
Draw
there's a
Cofregus?
side effect
Alright.
of A-Tech.
Hold on, let me...
Its nose gets slightly lifted in the air. If you do a mini-turbo with A-Tech, then perform a sharp turn after releasing A,
Hold on,
and
my
then
back
press
itches.
R
I can scratch
and
my back.
A while your nose is pointed up, your cart hops into the air. It's called an A-Tech hop, and is the only
Alright,
way
let's-
to hop in Mario Kart Double Dash. So, after driving half a lap normally, you arrive at the balcony. By performing an A-Tech hop in a precise spot off the ledge, your race completion goes from 40% to
How did I forget what a
60% as you
Snorlax
hit the
looks
balcony
like?
checkpoints, to
I remembered
95%
the
as you hit
shape.
finish line checkpoints, and back to 40% as you respawn. It never jumps up by more than 50%.
I
at a
remembered
time,
round.
so your race progression increases by a
I
full
forgot
lap.
that the face
You
had
get checkpoint
that as
credits
well, and I
for
got like the
respawning.
colors wrong.
This trick would go on to be nicknamed the flop. For laps 2 and 3, you can flop off the ledge, then lack hop to get checkpoint credits for the full lap, and complete the race having driven hardly any of it. So, Goomba got to work, and managed to hit the shortcut after a few tries on October 10th, 2018. A 2:09 run, ahead of the non-shortcut record by 7 seconds. Over the following few days, he'd cut down on the number of tries needed to hit it, taking the time down to 1:26. But on the 14th, Goomba would hit the first ever 3 out of 3. A run with 3 flops
Fuck.
and 3 lack hops. and a
Cofregus is
time
another one that has a
no
lot of
six.
details that I don't remember.
My god.
The winner, Tenko.
A month
'Cause,
later, a runner named Rick Bick
I know that there's a
did
lot
first
of,
cut down a lack hop by hitting the proper checkpoints on the flop. That lowered the
flop.
record to just over a minute. But just 5 days later, Goomba would return to not only take the record back, but take it under a minute. Mario Kart Double Dash's first ever sub-minute world record.
Yes, dude. Oh my god, 59.
And then, 3 years would pass. Goomba chose to play other courses in the game, and most other runners had little interest in shortcuts or just couldn't compete with him. But then Mathy came along.
Hell
At first,
did
he
you
struggled
look
to set
like?
any records on Bowser's Castle, but in September 2021, he finally came through with a 58-second run. But what Matthew would do just 4 weeks later was far more impressive. He would discover another shortcut, known today simply as the Big Bounce. And this is why.
I don't remember
Big
anything
Bounce
about
is essentially
your fucking
a
design,
larger
dude.
version of the ATEC.
I'm fucking
Instead
drawing
of
random
aiming
shit
your
because
cart
I
to the
literally
top
don't
of the
remember
ATEC,
what your coffin
you
looks
want to
like.
very precisely maneuver your cart along the edge. By then rotating around, your nose is pointed up much higher than it would be from ATEC. You can then use a mushroom and do a more extreme version of the ATEC hop called the Extreme Hop. By using another mushroom when you land, you perform what's called a shroom bounce and get even more air, enough to hit the Lakitu zone and respawn on the balcony. This saves close to 10 seconds if performed optimally, but adds another layer of difficulty. Still, it didn't take long before Matthew was able to hit it in a run, and lower the record.
Like,
by
Rodriguez has a complicated design, right?
Oh, let's go.
Like, that's just sort of a thing with them, and I'm not just overcomplicating it.
Taking another 2 seconds off, mostly via a faster big bounce at the start. That's where the record stood for about 6 months. But in April 20,
You don't know? You're the one allowed to look up references, I'm not!
Finished off a 49-second world record with one of the most sarcastic celebrations in speedrunning history.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Matthew's 49-second run stands as the record today.
Why am I drawing it like that?
Bowser's Castle has had dramatic record cuts over the years.
I have
but
to
without
define
new
complicated
strategies,
patterns
it
all
shouldn't
over
go
them.
Very much lower. After Bowser's Castle, it wasn't obvious which course would be next. There were several that
I
had
don't remember what the
potential,
coffin
although
part of
nothing
the
that could
coffin
quite be
Pokemon
put
looks like, is
together.
the problem.
One day in October 2018, Goomba was streaming on Twitch and wanted to demonstrate some shortcut theory for his viewers. So, he loaded up Mushroom City. Goomba showed his chat that if you could somehow hit this Lakitu zone from the bottom, the game would set you back on top and you'd skip a good chunk of the course. However, he had tested this before, and the lap didn't count when driving over the finish line.
As complicated as the
So,
average
he
Pokemon?
drove forward to show his viewers how a lap
What you're
wasn't.
saying is something like...
What? What? But that's not supposed to work.
Goomba had no idea what had happened, but he quickly figured it out. This part of the course contains both checkpoint boxes 24 and 25. They extend infinitely upwards. If you touch the Lakitu zone in box 25,
This feels
you
like
never
it's
actually
so
leave this box when you
incorrect.
respawn.
Because
So
I remember a
this conclusion
pose,
ignores
I remember a
checkpoint
shape of the
counter
Pokemon
gets
not
updated.
being this.
If you touch it in box 24, on the other hand,
But the one
you
I'm
respawn
remembering more is
outside of it,
freaking...
so the lap counts as it does on other courses. So that was figured out in October 2018.
Sure, it's gonna be the
but
the
this was almost
Twitch chat
proof of
smile on.
concept. Goomba had no method of.
I remember
actually
Ruin
touching the
Regus
Lakitu
more
zone
than
below.
Cough
He
Regus.
did it before with a moonjump code. So it remained on the shelf for the next 2.5 years. But in March.
Oh, so you're just getting a free
2021,
Ruin Regus on the
Matthew
side just
solved it
because...
his method was quite similar to the big bounce on Bowser's Castle.
Ruin Regus is one that was introduced in a later
Then do an
gen.
extreme hop and do
That's
a
like
shroom
an
bounce to
alternate
get
form.
enormous height and touch the Lakitu zone. As long as you do so in checkpoint 24, the lap counts. And just like that, the Mushroom City shortcut.
Oh no, is there like a thing in the center of it? There might be.
Matthew was the first to set a 3-lap record on Mushroom City, just hours after the shortcut was discovered. This was quite a difficult trick to hit, and he still needed to drive well enough after for it to be faster than the non-shortcut record.
I feel like there's more coming out of the coffin than this. Why can't I remember what?
Let's fucking go.
Fuck.
Goomba began doing attempts too, and thanks to a particularly fast shortcut hit, he beat Matthew and set the record.
Yes!
Over the following few weeks, the two of them would once again get into a world record battle. Matthew came up with a slightly faster way to do the shortcut from the front, and thanks to that, plus improved driving afterwards, the record came.
Are you allowed to give hints? Sure, go ahead.
But the
'Cause I'm drawing a blank.
We discovered that September, when Matthew found that the shroom bounce wasn't needed. If you got your nose in the air enough and did an extreme hop, it was possible to reach the lap
4
position
limbs and
without
2
using
faces? What?
Now, that technically opened the possibility of doing the shortcut more than once in a race, but it was an extremely difficult trick, tougher than any other shortcut in the game. Many months passed, and the record remained with just 1 shortcut out of 3. Doing it more than that was just too big of an ask. And then, on June 3rd, 2022, Mathy did this.
Oh, come on. Oh my god, dude. You're in a world record video. I just did the first 2 for 3 Mushroom City glitch.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I just have to not shit the bed lap 3 now.
I don't remember this at all being a thing with them.
He had done it again. The world's first 2 out of 3 shortcut hit on Mushroom City. To this day, it
I made like, this is what Cup Regis would be if there were a refrigerator.
done. Maybe one day, but
Rodriguez.
keep in mind how long 2 out of 3 took. For now, a 120.634 is where the record stands. But these 3-lap runs aren't the only types of world records set in Mario Kart Double Dash. The game keeps track of not only your fastest 3-lap race, but also your fastest individual lap on any given course. On the Double Dash players page, this is called doing a fast lap.
I'm going full into the fact that this is now Fridge
So that means
Regis.
it's possible to go to Bowser's Castle and do a flop on your flap. I just wanted to say that. But anyway, flap world records are tracked right alongside 3-lap records and carry a similar level of prestige. But in 2021, a pair of shortcuts would be found that were slower for a 3-lap record, but would save time over a flap record. They would become the game's first flap-only shortcuts. First up, discovered in March 2021,
What do you look like?
Luigi Circuit.
I
Shortcut on Luigi
thought
Circuit is
more
one of the
than
most
I should have on
important
this.
game. Step 1 is to drive most of a lap.
So a lot of my understanding of like the dynamic pose of it
Turn around and
came
go back
from
out to
the
front of
fucking
course.
the
By
rune
doing
form
an
of it.
tech hop, it's possible to get on this ledge right in front of the finish line. You then maneuver right next to this zipper, and let's go over the 3 conditions for a lap to count again. Your checkpoints and race completion are met by driving around the course, which you already did.
That's
But
gracious.
the first condition says you have to.
I'm
touch
getting
checkpoint
worse
0.
as time goes
This
on.
is
I want y'all to know.
just crossing the finish line, but it can also be done by touching it from the other side. So, when you touch the zipper, you enter checkpoint 0 and start the lap with about a 1-second head start. The resulting time save means that you can have an individual lap slightly faster than what you'd normally get. Beyond this, the only optimization is how well you drive the subsequent lap. Since Mathy discovered the ATEC hop in March 2021, he and Goomba have alternated who drove better, trading the record back and forth several times.
So this
At
is
the moment,
like
Goomba
wrong
holds the
for
record
both of
with
them,
23
but there's a bit of
39
both of them in it, is the
The
thing.
flap-only shortcut is a little different. Instead of a 23-second lap, we're talking more like 6 or 7 seconds. And this time, we're headed out to the desert.
This is the regional variant. This is Fridge.
Dry Dry Desert had a lack hop that had been known about for years. If you drive away from the road and cross the finish
I
line,
have
as you
also
get picked up
acquired
by lap
food.
2, you'll be dropped down behind the finish line with all your checkpoints updated. Unfortunately,
French
this
fry.
wasn't helpful unless you could somehow gain race completion along with it. And for years, there was no way to do that. However, all the way back in 2003, a player named Scott R did this on Dino Dino Jungle.
That's crazy how they did that on Dino Dino Jungle.
When a floor is sloped enough in Double Dash, and you drive into it with enough speed while your cart is sideways, it's possible to clip through it. You need to get a bit lucky with your cart's positioning, so it's on one side of the floor one frame and the other side the next. But the key is finding a floor sloped just the right way. It needs to be at the perfect angle so you can actually clip through it. Sorta like this downed pillar on Dry Dry Desert. This particular clip was discovered by Mathy.
Marfrigus, your favorite?
Straight to the finish line. So you can drive.
No, that's not. You didn't say your favorite. You said your fetish. The fuck are you talking about?
By then doing a lack hop to finish the lap, you get your checkpoints instantly to start lap 2, and upon crossing the finish line, you have yourself an incredibly short lap. Optimizations have been slim over the years.
How about Weavile? I might be able to do Weavile okay.
Mathy and Goomba set most of the records, but famed Super Circuit runner Rusty set a few records too. This actually isn't the fastest flap record in the game, as both Mushroom Bridge and Bowser's Castle have records in the 4-second range. The current record here is 6.437 seconds by Mathy, and it seems that it can only go down by a couple hundredths of a second at most. The key is getting a frame-perfect lap entry, combined with a small bounce when being dropped by Lakitu. But regardless, this record shouldn't be going much lower. That makes it 2 flap-only shortcuts, and 4 that can be done on 3 lap runs. Over the years, many have tried their hand at these shortcuts. Some courses have a leaderboard of a few names, while older ones like Waluigi Stadium have dozens. But there's still one more shortcut to talk about. To this day, only one person has ever pulled it off fast enough. The player was Mathy, and the course was Wario Coliseum.
I don't remember those.
Wario Coliseum is a unique course. For one thing, it's the only course in the game where you drive just 2 laps for the race to be complete. But it's also got many places you can launch yourself off the road, which gave it huge potential for a shortcut. Throughout 2021, out of bounds and lack hop combinations were theorized, yet nothing came to fruition. But one night in June 2021, Goomba and Mathy hopped on a call and decided to look together. And over the next 24 hours, the Wario Coliseum shortcut was born. First, you drive to around 40% race completion. Then, you fly off the edge of the road, and by using a mushroom to pull your cart down, you avoid touching any other checkpoints and land out of bounds. However, when respawning behind the finish line, the game actually thinks you're on the track below at 55%, so the 50% rule is satisfied. You then drive backwards, do a lack hop to get all checkpoints between where you jumped off and where you went out of bounds, and when you drive forward, a lap counts. Now, is all this faster than just driving the lap normally? It actually is, but just barely. Only one person has been able to execute it fast enough to save time over a non-shortcut run, Mathy. On June 6th, 2021, he did it for the first time, getting a 156.190 that beat the non-shortcut record by 1/100th of a second.
Yes, finally! 156.190.
Let's go.
He'd follow this up 4 months later with a 155.735, and then a 155.437 in March 2022. And to this day, those are the only 3 records that have ever been set.
Midnacore? A bit. That Weavile by default's kind of Midnacore.
Mushroom Bridge, Bowser's Castle, Mushroom City, Luigi Circuit, Dry Dry Desert, and Wario Coliseum. Those are the 7 courses that have been broken by players of Mario Kart Double Dash. There exists an 8th shortcut on Dino Dino Jungle that hasn't been hit fast enough yet. It's similar to Luigi Circuit, where you start a lap from the other end of Checkpoint Zero. A few years ago,
try the eyes?
Waluigi Stadium was alone. Now, half the courses in the game have a shortcut. Double Dash is going to be played for generations to come. And right now, we're just in a snapshot of its history. But if its past is any indication, players aren't yet done breaking its courses and finding shortcuts. 8 courses have yet to fall victim to a shortcut, but it seems that their days are numbered. More courses will be broken. The only questions are when will it happen, and who will be the ones to do it. Thanks for watching.
I'm struggling to find, like, the correct eyes. We're thinking of crimes. This is exactly the correct color. Honestly, getting the colors is definitely going to be the hardest part. Like, colors are very much the gotta get it close enough. I guess that's kind of the whole thing with this. You just gotta be close enough, right?
This video contains flashing lights that may affect viewers with photosensitive epilepsy. Viewer discretion is advised. Mega Man 2's world record speedrun is one of the most prestigious on the NES. For nearly 2 decades, it's had a lively competitive scene, with world record holders polishing their skills to see who can beat it the quickest. It requires precision and finger speed that would even make Mike Tyson proud. Because to speedrun Mega Man 2 at the top level, you must break it. After all, walls are just suggestions, and ceilings are figments of our imagination. This is the story of how speedrunners broke Mega Man 2. This is the history of Mega Man 2 world records.
I forget if they have, like, a belly, like, alt coloring. Like, if... That's a... It's just a solid color.
So, where do we begin? The early history of Mega Man 2's world record is an enigma to uncover. In the mid-2000s, people completed runs both with and without video proof on different versions of the game and with different rule sets.
I think this is going to be good enough.
A true world record was ambiguous.
Oh, let's rotate it.
Putting together an accurate
right, I need to, like, link them all together to rotate it.
Yet, through all that, there's one run that's pretty unanimously considered to be the first world record. The year was 2004. The runner was Richard Ureta, and his final time was 30 minutes and 39 seconds. In Mega Man 2,
put in Weevil. Hold on, Weavile Pokemon. I forgot two details.
Airman, where he precisely jumped on the lips of blocks to avoid slowing down. You only have about a 4-pixel window to do so,
you wish I could set the volume separately?
Jump. He then had to slowly ride on the clouds to make it.
I could just, like, lower him.
And on the boss fight, used the Mega Buster to take down Airman. Ureta then played Quickman stage, where he repeatedly rode item 2 to quickly skip through long corridors. Quickman himself,
personally, I think forgetting the gem existed on their forehead is understandable.
Next up was Flashman.
I forgot the tail and I forgot the thing around their neck.
And item 2 helped him skip over the last room. On Metal Man's stage, Yoretta froze time with Flash Man's weapon so he could run through without the spikes falling on him. He also jumped forward on the conveyors moving against him, so he wouldn't be pushed back. Item 2 was utilized once again, although he had to carefully maneuver around spawning enemies. And on the boss fight, he used quick boomerangs, which is Metal Man's weakness. With 4 Robot Masters down,
So
Metal Man's overpowered weapon acquired, Yoretta
we got ourselves a nice lineup of Pokemon.
The shrimp and fish are quite weak to
I also have food and I want to
Yoretta
eat,
was able to
so we're gonna
jump
quickly go back to this so I can eat and watch YouTube.
It was
The
similar to
ultimate
how a
experience.
casual player would get through the stage, but the key difference is that Yoretta never stopped running. He precisely maneuvered and barely let go of right on the D-pad. On Heatman's
Eating
stage,
is Pog.
Yoretta once again jumped from column to column without slowing down.
Is that I
He
appear?
used item 2 to
You
cross the
appear.
lava gap later on,
do.
and used Bubble Lead on Heatman.
Hello.
He
Welcome.
Has random delays
I'm
between
fucking
his shots,
so tall.
but since it only
Why am
You
I
are
so tall?
huge.
they hardly
Hold on, let me share my screen so you can.
I jumped out of my N64 and I drank all of your milk.
You normally have to slowly climb. However,
poppin'?
if you place down
How much?
an item
We're watching
quickly
YouTube.
while you're climbing up the ladder,
Nice.
you can then jump off of it and
I
save
saw
your
MSS
climb.
Blue for the 3rd time in like
Yoretta
2
also
days.
used item 1
Hell
to his
yeah.
advantage by letting him bypass
That's an alright
the
movie.
sections altogether and avoid having to ride on the slow conveyors.
There's some aspects of it I still don't fully grasp yet, but that's I guess what makes a fun piece of media is to just look at it and go, oh yeah, I don't get this shit, hype.
To prevent the dogs from spawning.
I have
After
a
a
chicken
charged shot
sandwich.
to Woodman,
Hell
he
yeah.
completed the 8 robot stages.
I had some good food
Now,
yesterday,
the
oh my
game's
god.
difficulty takes a big
Authentic
step.
ramen hits
It's
so
time
different than
Oh,
the
yeah.
Instagram.
Stages.
God, so good.
Wiley
it
was
barely
similar
lasted
to
even 2
Crackman
seconds.
Stage, and that there are several ladders you have to climb up. Yoretta used both item 1
I know what I
and
had
item
for dinner,
3 to
though.
help.
I went out and bought like a bunch
Dragon
of
Boss for a quick kill.
cold cuts and made myself a
In
sandwich
Wiley
like a little
2,
while
Yoretta
ago.
shot the leaf shield to protect against projectiles in the long corridor.
Man, I forget how shaped the
They randomly
MM2
drop
dragon
health
is.
and
That beast
ammo,
is so
which
shaped.
are bad
It's such a
luck
good
in
shape.
speedruns since it slows you down to pick them up.
Very good.
Wily 3 is the
7th, like, canonically dead. You get to see its decaying, like, body in, like, Mega Man 8, though. It's pretty fucked up.
As fast as possible. The final 3 Wily
It's not a joke
stages
either.
are
It's so needlessly
Higher
graphic for, like, no reason.
Wily
Like, hello.
4 features
Mega Man
an
should have
enormous
killed
sequence of
Dr.
items
Wily.
and
That would have solved a lot of
with
problems.
several careful item
He tried.
placements,
But they were just like,
Yoretta was
no,
able to quickly
you can't do
traverse
it, Megas
the
Man.
top while barely
If
slowing
you do, you'll break the laws of robotics.
Then, you have 4 spike screens to get through.
You should have done it anyway.
Normally, you're supposed to
Yeah,
run
you're
around
right.
on the conveyor and dodge enemies. But Richard Yoretta had other ideas.
I remember seeing a like Mega Man timeline thing, and the funniest explanation for the Battle Network is Wily got pussy.
Item 2 to die frames again. And in the
It's a
fourth
split in the
frame,
timeline where he got
Kind of.
bitches.
just barely reached the conveyor early.
He does have an adoptive kid in the
In
Battle
Wily
Network
5,
timeline.
You refight the
Because that's, what's his name's net
Yoretta
up?
used each boss's weakness against
What's his
them,
name? Not
meaning
Baron.
most fights were completed in a
Colonel.
matter of
Colonel.exe's net up.
For the
I think his name
stage
is Baron,
boss,
though.
He used metal
Is it?
blades to tear
No.
through the first phase.
Also, I did not
Either
know that
way.
was an adopted kid in that series. I thought that was just
Yep.
his actual kid.
Finally,
Yeah, it's he's adopted, I
for the
think.
stage
That's what I
itself,
recall.
you just walk to the end without slowing down. But the alien
So that post was wrong, and Wily. There's no
You
proof
have to
that Wily
hit
has
him
had
with
sex.
14 bubbles.
It's true.
And if you
Well,
make contact
no,
with him,
because in the new
you
Mega Man
become
cartoon,
an
he has a
alien
grandson.
that
I
tanks
think.
health. Yoretta's strategy was
Let me
to get
see,
hit
I have to-
by
I
a
have to- I have to
projectile,
fact
then
check
use
this.
the
Give me a minute.
iframes to briefly
Well, by new
grab
Mega
the
Man
wait,
cartoons, do you mean the one that's like
He
a
avoided
weird
hitting the
school
alien
drama
and
Mega Man or
closed
whatever the
out the
fuck?
run.
A little bit, yeah. It's interesting. Like
Mega Man,
Mega
2
Man, like Wily, Dr. Light has like
It
an
was a
actual
solid
flesh and
run.
blood daughter that isn't
Big
rolled, but
stakes.
she's also Zero.
At the end of the day,
It's
was
wild.
it that
I'm
hard
all here
to
for
oversee
Zero being rolled but grown up.
Yoretta was
It's
obviously
a
much
little
more
bit different than that.
skilled
It's
than
like
the
they're
player.
the same age, but she just puts on a suit of armor and it's like, call me Zero. And it's like,
But running through
that's
the
you
stages
the whole
and
time?
reiterating
Kind
the
of hype
bosses
though.
with their weaknesses isn't
Yeah, Mega Man
necessarily
Fully
that
Charged
difficult to
is
do.
what it's called.
For
Yeah,
the next
Burt
couple of
Wily.
years,
I think he's
there
the
would be
yeah,
little
Dr.
activity.
Wily is his
But
grandfather.
then,
Yes.
The timeline starts to get tricky.
Oh, he kind of nice with it in the comics though. Oh my god, yeah, dropping his voice. He's got like.
Difficult
He
mode
looks like
means
someone's
enemies
cool
take more
granddad.
shots to
Like,
kill,
whose grandpa is
particularly
this?
the bosses. Yoretta's run was on normal
Science
mode,
teacher
since
looking
it's
head ass.
faster than difficult mode. But in late 2006,
Well, I gotta see this.
a vibrant speedrunning community
Oh my god.
would form in Japan.
This looks like
There,
someone's science
the game is
teacher.
known as Rock
He doesn't just look like someone's science teacher, he looks like someone's quirky fucking science teacher too.
Yeah, right? Yeah. You get it. You get
This
it.
dude has his own TV show that competes with Bill Nye.
Scenes take significantly less time in Rockman 2.
You're so
So
right.
much less
You're
time.
so
It
right.
ends up being a wash with the time lost from playing on difficult mode. So
Get ready for the wacky world with Dr. Wily.
Speedruns are comparable in time, but Rockman 2 is considered the more challenging speedrun. And after a series of improvements through 2007, despite playing on a more difficult version of the game, a runner from Japan named Lambda would beat Yoretta's run by over a minute.
I think they should do more fun stuff with Mega Man if they ever do anything with it again.
Yeah, I want
I would
another
like
freaking.
to.
I want another ZX game.
Oh,
Fewer small mistakes and tighter execution.
Like,
I love ZX so much. Mega Man Metroidvania just kind of hits right. Is
Yeah.
the thing.
fucking ZXA's whole like mechanic of you transform into the actual boss and their kit is now your way of traversing the world. Fuck yeah!
It's so hype! It's genuinely so hype. I wish it didn't start with the worst boss though. Ooh.
In 2008, a runner
Oh,
named
Buckfire's
Bushi
real
set
bad.
another string of Rockman.
Anyways,
Yeah.
if
He
you
has
just want to
like-
see what Zero looks like in Fully Charged, here's the design. It actually looks
Saved
really
about
sick.
3 seconds in Bubble from fewer knockbacks, and about 4 in Clash.
That
from
is a
better
solid design. It doesn't look like a Mega Man design, but it's a solid design.
Lambda and Hoshi
Mhm.
had taken
I think it
Rockman
fits in the
to
world,
next
but yeah,
level.
I
This
don't know. I
was
think
just
it looks a little
2008,
bit better when it's in
yet
like
their
actual
speedruns were
art, but
optimized
like
to
in the
levels
in the show, it doesn't look as good as it could be.
But there's one thing to note about these runs. They were
I
played
think
with
there's some fun bits. Like, they actually do play like remixes of the the boss themes. It's wild how individual sprites in Mega Man is so good and the actual game is so ugly. Yeah. I mean, this was back before people actually knew what they were doing, I feel like, with Mega Man. They got a lot better with it, but like Mega Man 2 is not exactly the most glamorous looking video game.
Yeah.
And it made some
The NES was an era.
fast.
Mm-hmm.
The alien fight in
Games looked kind of
which
like
normally takes
for a while
28
people
shots
figured
to
out what they were
kill in
doing.
Rockman 2.
So I think like after 2, I think 3, 4, 5, and 6 look really good.
Oh god, flashing.
But still,
Yeah, it's
There
real
was-
bad.
There was a flashing in the beginning of the video, but damn.
Yeah, it was the style of the time of just flashing your eyeballs until they explode. I don't know why that's like a thing back then. I'm just like, oh yeah, we'll just flashbang all these children. There's some pretty games in the NES is a skill issue. Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I said so. Like, I said 2 was like pretty mid. Like visually, it gets better I think after this game.
Like, the NES was a bunch of people getting into something that they didn't really know of, and some people understood how to do something better than other people.
By
So
a
true.
runner named Seth Glass. But there's something a bit different about this run. See, prior speedruns of the game were submitted to Twin Galaxies and Purecast, websites which prohibited the use of glitches. Seth Glass was submitting to Speed Demos Archive, so he was free to use whatever glitches
Man,
he
I
wanted.
miss CX so much.
Boy,
CX is such a
he
unique
ever
world
used
and
it.
just kind of like... I'm sad they had to let it go like that. Ugh. I
Yeah.
want a new one so bad. Well, chat delay, true.
The shit of, like, the Zero Core doing the fucking standoff to keep everyone away at the last bit of it, where it was just like, no, you guys are coming back to me, and just like, coming back, what do you mean by this? It's a reference to Mega Man Zero!
Yeah, there's a Mega Man Zero reference, and I think they could be potentially alive considering that everyone else from that survives at the end of ZXA. But who knows?
Who knows?
So, If you
Capcom's never making another ZX game.
They were going to, but that shit got mega canceled.
Mega Man is below 1. You'll get
And I'm so bummed out about it.
Item 1 never despawns.
I'm so.
How does the game respond
Please,
to Mega
I
Man
need
the
it.
ceiling?
Baby
Well,
needs.
if he faces to the left, it ejects him.
I also think like all the forms you get just look really good. Like even when they're just in their base form, like base 4 model F and stuff like that looks really cool. Like on what's her name, Atlas. God, Atlas is so cool.
He discovered several zips all across.
What a
the
good
run
ass
in
design for a
2004,
character.
Many of which Seth Glass.
I wish
would
Robot
use in
Women
this
were
run
real.
4 years later.
They could be.
Glass's new
It's a
route
desire.
in the game, which he borrowed from the TAS, was to start with
Yo, it's Flash Man.
so he could obtain item 3. Then, in Heatman stage, he'd perform the first zip. By placing an item 3 while touching the bottom of the ladder, then re-grabbing the ladder, you can jump back on it while facing right.
God,
and enter the
there's
ceiling.
so much history of this game's speedrun. This is 2008.
Causes Mega Man to fall out of the wall. So, Glass did what's called an A trigger. By jumping while stuck in the ceiling, Mega Man quickly lands and cannot move for the next 4 frames. So,
Time to eat more
if you
French
press
fry.
left in that 4-frame
Hell yeah.
window, Mega Man zips all the way to the right out of the wall. Seth Glass had a 15th of a second to time it, but was able to skip an enormous chunk of Heatman stage. He then played through Airman and Crashman without any zips, although he used a beautiful new strategy in Airman stage called Fast Air. By precisely placing and jumping off of item 1, then jumping on the very edge of clouds to avoid taking damage, Glass was able to make it across the gap without having to ride on the slow-moving clouds. He then entered Quickman stage, where he'd place 2 item 1s down so he could jump up and enter the ceiling. To initiate the zip,
How come Mega Man can't do that anymore?
by placing an item
well,
1 in the wall,
You know, you get a dog,
Mega Man
and then
has
things just kind of
16
change for you, you know.
frames where he can't move. Press left
Like,
during
Many
the
such
window,
cases.
X is supposed to be more advanced, and yeah, I don't see X doing that. I actually don't know if that's true, if this glitch exists in any Mega Man X game.
If you're out of item
It
1,
might, I don't
or if
know.
There's already 3 of them on the screen. Triggering these zips isn't.
I would love to see like silly stuff that
They
X can
lead
do.
to minutes of time save if utilized across the run. So, that's exactly what Seth Glass did. Glass would go on to perform zips in Metal Man, Bubble Man, Wily 2, and Wily 6. In the cases of Quickman and Wily 6, he had to make sure he didn't soft lock the game. If your zip leads you into a screen transition, you have to stop the zip by pressing left or right just as you get there. If you're
Bye,
too
there he
late,
goes.
you soft lock the game. But if
So
you're too
fast.
early, you have to wiggle. By repressing left,
Quickman,
your zip begins again.
you have been
You
dethroned.
continue to adjust or
Stupid.
wiggle until you perfectly land on the screen transition. Runners on Speed Demo's archive were thrilled to see a run of the game with zips. But truth be told, there were still moments where it could have been better optimized. Over the next year, multiple faster times would be set, but the timeline of the official world record is problematic. In early 2009, Hoshi would get a couple runs in the high 28 range.
Ugh, I am
But
filled with
without
food.
Autofire, they would
Hell
be
yeah.
faster than
Food
Glass.
installed.
In April, a runner
Dinner
named
install?
Mega Destructor
I just
Hell
lunch
yeah.
lunch install.
2842.
King Harkinian
But the
dinner
video
install.
has
God damn
since
it.
been removed from YouTube.
I'm just thinking about
But
I
as
can't believe
for
that was
most
whatever
fans, the
whatever names.
timeline
Oh
is
no!
clear.
Video unavailable.
And over the next couple of
So
years,
sad.
the record would see rapid improvement as players implemented more and more zips. In December 2009, a runner named NOU1 got a 2838 on Rockman 2 without using autofire. It stood for a few months until Seth Glass came back and set a series of
Glass.
records on normal mode, ultimately getting a run that clocked in.
I should explain why I said glass like that, hearing the word glass.
This was a legendary record.
Forget it's a video of like a parrot identifying materials that it bangs speak against.
One of the most popular runs on the site.
And it just like bangs against the window, so it's dunk dunk
Would go on to
glass.
inspire a new generation of Mega Man 2 runners.
I love that
It
bird.
stands to this day as a benchmark for high-level runners to compare against. but it would only remain as the world's fastest.
Is this
Could be.
It very well could be, is the
When a runner
thing.
named Furemo beat
It
it
might
on
be.
Rockman 2,
Because, like, I have
the
filled out the
20
sketch page of the drawings pretty damn well, like...
but only at 10 shots. per
What?
second,
Viv, how come you're
well
floating?
within the rate at which.
Well,
So it's not thought to have given.
there's
him
there are many things you don't know about.
In fact, he actually played at a disadvantage. Furemo played on Wii
I should
Virtual Console,
sit down and learn
which
to
has a
draw
slower
like
frame rate than original
the
hardware,
like Mega Man style
9
arcs. It's so
seconds over the
cool.
course of the
Yeah.
Do it.
But Furemo would only
An
be
art style I would
on
love to learn how to, like, do, but it's, like, so outside of how I, like, tend to draw things. It's something like the Puyo Puyo style, like Puyo Puyo Tetris and shit.
Ooh, that'd be fun too. That could just be fun to learn just the style, you know.
by
Yeah.
NOU1. This was by far the best run of Rockman 2 ever completed. NOU1.
I still don't think I'm ever living down the drawing of Celeste Stella I did.
A world record.
No, I think it looks great. What are you talking about? I think that looks perfect. Like, it and Wooloo, I think, look the best. I do like Esper also.
Yeah.
They're all similar to previous ones.
I forgot how Esper's, like, fur works. I just remembered, like, the body shape, and that's about it. The body shape
They
and the
sure are.
stare.
They sure are shaped. I'll agree with you on that. I need to just learn how to do like a full art study. I want to like just sit down and draw. My brain has been like, nope, you will not do this. Die about it. I'm like, oh, I want to
It
draw.
looks complicated, but behind the scenes, it's a bit more.
This is a VeggieTales character strapped to a rocket.
You need to climb up a ladder to get to the next screen. If you do,
Wild String Bean has appeared.
Take him there just the same.
This one I was super confused by because I could only mostly remember freaking Rodriguez.
When you move to the next,
I was like, how different was it?
Just do it. Bobu, you don't understand how it is with this hell brain of mine, where it's just like, no, you will not do this thing. You really simply die about it. And I'm like trying to like fight it tooth and claw, and it doesn't work. It is the worst. I hate it.
Finally, you fall down where there's a
Welcome to my special hell.
screen isn't horizontally aligned.
I'm happy with the Indeedee I did. It's not at
That
all
looks great.
accurate.
Looks great.
The game then
Looks great.
respawns you much
That's a creature.
further
I love how creature
and by
they are.
releasing an atomic
Wooloo is
fire
perfect.
shot when you die,
Wooloo is
the game
perfect.
runs
That's
through
a
faster.
beautiful creature.
The Clashman Zip was first seen in
I made a really depressed Wailord holding a lollipop.
executed to perfection.
Kirby back there.
Yeah.
Also first seen in 20
Yeah, Indeedee is one of like
Zip on quick
one of the Gen.
After falling at
What
the
is
start,
that?
you
I think
can
it's
place
8.
3 item
Yeah, Gen 8
bombs
Pokemon. I don't think
to
it gets
an
like enough play at all.
ceiling and
Yeah.
zip past a long
Like everybody talks about like Obstagoon or like Appleton. I don't see a lot about Indeedee. I also love your good old Cabigon, your little guy, your Snored Lax.
Yeah, I forgot that his face had the coloring as well.
Big sleepy. But it's one of the most impressive looking parts of the run.
I feel like I did a better job designing this Pokemon than the Pokemon designers did.
And the boss fight in the as well. Once again, NOU1 executed.
What does that remind me of even?
Next up was
It's got like Futurama character face.
Yeah.
Glasses 2751.
I feel like a lot of it is because my color palette's better. Like, I'll just straight up say my color palette's better than the original.
I think it looks a little bit more like it ties into Barbaracle than it does with its pre-evolution.
So fun fact, I was asked to draw a Barbaracle for that one, but I completely forgot which form was which.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Their names are pretty confusing. I understand that.
But in reality, it works just like the Clashman Zip in that the screen gets offset with where Mega Man actually is.
This is a Minda core type creature.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I love that it just has like closed mouth Golbat face.
You're right.
Moves take a large amount of precision, like grabbing an invisible ladder in midair. There's
Or
too
like,
much
you know,
going on to
Ghastly
precisely
face.
explain here, but eventually you're able to zip. And
I still love autism, Esper.
TBH Pokemon looking ass.
With so many moving parts, it's an incredibly difficult trick, but it lets you skip over much of the stage.
Where's my guy?
Once again,
I'm
I know
trying
you
to
one nailed it.
sketch.
finally, there were the vertical wraps. By getting partially stuck in the wall at the top of the screen, the next screen triggers, but Mega Man stays at the top. This can save you from having to play through a
It looks like a TV.
It's used at times in the Woodman zip, but
I hate how right you are. You're just so right. I hate it. How are you this right? I'm mad.
Combined with nearly impeccable execution elsewhere,
Like that God, you got it in one, literally.
27-21. This was a monster world record. Japan had had a vibrant Rockman 2 community for years, and after thousands of attempts from numerous different runners, this run seemed to be the final product. Runners from the Western speedrunning community looked on with awe. Nobody there was close to beating it either. For the next 2 years, this 27-21 was unparalleled at the top. Around the time that NOU1's record was set, a new runner began playing the game. He'd do attempts off and on for the next couple years, improving his skills but still remaining far from the world record. But in August 2013, after returning from a break, he decided to attempt what no runner had done in the past 2.5 years. Make a push for the world record. His name was Cypher.
The coolest cyberpunk name.
Cypher's idea was to
pretty good.
Several high-risk, high-reward strategies from the tasks that could save him time. This was a risky move. Although these tricks had the potential to be faster, Cypher knew he would lose a lot of runs going for them. The biggest one was the Task Clash zip. By going for the zip on the first screen instead of the second, you could save up to 10 seconds. A huge amount of time in an optimized run. But it is tough. You have to very precisely place 2 item 1s in the right spot, and zip multiple times in the span of a few seconds. There's practically no margin for error, but even with a low level of consistency, Cypher felt the time save was worth it. Other new tricks included a short zip in Metal Man, and a zip with item 2 in Bubble Man. Combined, these could save up to about 4 seconds. And in Wily 4, he went for a trick called the Extended Ceiling Zip, where you wait out Mega Man's stuck state from item 3 and press down on the next
a video worthy of Glad
the
Jonas.
ceiling and zip further than normal. A trick found by a runner named Ello. These were really difficult strategies,
it's
but
almost
Cypher was
freaking
committed to going for them.
big shopping day,
His
everything on sale
consistency
day.
wasn't amazing,
Yeah.
and he struggled to get a clean run.
Panasonic
By
Blu-ray,
October
$99.
2014, he was
Everything
still
will
nearly a
sale
minute
during
off the
Christmas
world
in
record.
July.
He would need to shave
In
off
December.
I'm stealing content at this point?
Kind
Maybe.
of, but who cares? Who
Who
cares?
cares? We're just chilling. I don't care.
I contain it. It's cool.
We're just vibing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be vibing a little bit. I'm gonna be looking at dumb mods on my stream in like probably a couple of minutes. Let's see, 12 plus 25, like 37, half hour, a little bit.
So probably the end of this video. I'm literally at the point where I'm just waiting for like this video to end so I can end my stream because I don't think I'm drawing anymore.
Don't appreciate art anymore. Listen, you got a lot of art. Art's hard to do. I should know. I'm trying to do it right now.
I'm sorry, but I did a lot of art too. I need to zoom out.
Cypher had just cut
Look at how much art I did.
minute off his personal best. It had taken months of grinding, but he was the new
Alright.
Rockman 2 record holder.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Avocado
art.
toast eaters? I've never had avocado toast before.
Neither have I.
Particularly in Metal Man and
The only time I have avocado is in like guac and sushi, and that's about it, boss.
the vertical
Hell yeah.
altogether.
Yeah,
The
that's
time
what it's all
save
about.
from Task Clash made
I want
up
some
for all
good ass
that.
guac right now.
It was still a record.
Oh, that would be so hype.
Now, NOU1's record had stood for more than 2.5 years.
I want a good ass burrito also, that'd be pretty good.
Well,
God, this video isn't even halfway over. Oh no, we're stealing content.
The hypest let's watch on twitch.tv.
Oh my god. Hold on, we have to go full into the reaction streamer. Oh my god, did you see that? Whoa! Oh my god. Where's his helmet at? Whoa!
a trend that has continued to this day. Shoka went for the incredibly difficult task last
How'd he do that?
skipped some of the smaller times.
Oh, how did he?
Oh my god, he's jumping! But this isn't Jumpman, this is Rockman! Whoa!
With fewer obvious mistakes.
Where does Rockman carry all his? Where does Rockman? How does Rockman hold all his missiles?
He holds them in his coochie.
Oh, good for him.
Given him any significant advantage. The record was starting to get close.
God,
to a big
there's a video I'm just thinking of now that I think just called like "Woman Self-Defense," and it's like a missile coming out of her fucking crotch and decapitating a tiger.
Where it is at all times. It knows this because it knows where it isn't.
Extra zip and a cleaner but the largest time save potential.
Oh man.
Boss fights.
Oh my god, who is that?
We're gonna look at
Metal Gear Solid 5.
The biggest potential RNG swing.
Okay, the thing with Metal Gear Solid 5 being the reference to that is I saw something even more fucked up.
Oh god.
It was freaking that Shadow Wizard Money Gang, we love casting spells thing, but it was fucking Nuke Radio. I shoved the nuke up my pussy and it's just pause.
Has a roughly equal speed runs.
Where am I? Where am I?
In Rockman 2, Heatman takes 14 megabuster shots.
And then there's the fucking there's already the the Smash Bros spirit for her that's just start with a lit bomb.
Oh yeah.
Fucking hilarious.
It's pretty funny.
Shoka's
It's pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie.
Great RNG. 730s, 360s.
I've never played Peace Walker, I'm realizing.
That leads to an obvious question. What's the best fight?
Local streamer knows no peace.
That honor goes
the only two games that I haven't played
unbelievable
is the first one and Peace Walker.
Pog.
Okay, I haven't played Acid either, or whatever the fuck that one's called.
Bother me to draw tomorrow. I will do my best to actually draw and not like give up in 2 seconds. If my brain is like working correctly, I wanna work on drawing Mega Man shit and trying to incorporate that art style into my vocabulary. Suffice to say, I think it'd be fun.
Odds of 1 in 50,000. In theory, you could get.
Or like anyone within.
But it may never.
Can we do Gardic during stream today?
Are nearly 1 in 1.6.
Please, it's your birthday. Listen.
The potential.
Listen, I've already decided I'm being super lazy, and I'm just gonna play more NMC because I'm actually gonna play the right version of it. If you want to do Gardic, we can do Gardic like this weekend. We can just vibe. You don't have to do it on stream.
Sub 27. But the road.
We literally could just vibe and play Gardic this weekend, unless we were busy, in which case, well, fuck me, I guess.
Meaning he was 18 seconds away. Surely, he wouldn't be able to get there all in one go again. Right?
Amogus, you said?
Yeah.
That's the magic word.
Amogus.
You know I'm not a weekend warrior, you know what? Fair. I respect that.
Putting him on pace for a
Are you a Friday warrior, though? We could just hang out on Friday. I'm probably not gonna stream on Friday. We're on Thursday. I might not stream on Thursday. When I get home. Well, no, that's Thanksgiving. So it's on Friday.
Not enough the screen is being stolen content. Here we go.
Yeah, just throw up a video of Subway Surfers.
Enough for sub 27?
Don't listen to me. Do not believe Viv's lies.
Hold on.
Do not believe Viv's lies.
Oh,
Don't believe his lies, no!
The run will be time to 27, leaving Cypher just 2 seconds.
No! Chad, I'm sorry for what I have done. I'm sorry for what I have done. I'm sorry for what I have done. This is my fault. I'm so sorry.
He'd gotten a world record by 7 seconds. But on the other hand, he had just missed his goal time. Where had it gone wrong? Well,
Chad, I'm
he got
so
a mediocre
sorry.
pattern.
Chad, I'm so sorry.
So he didn't
what have I
time
done?
There.
Oh shit!
He also lost a bit of.
What have I done, chat? What have I done? No!
His biggest mistake was in Wily.
Did I just put it in the VTubers folder on my fucking OBS?
That would be funny. Have that be one of the options of Transform Bunny.
One tiny imprecision, another 27-minute run, and the world's first 26.
There we go.
So, Cypher knew he had to keep going. It had taken just 3 weeks of attempts to hit 2701. He was prepared to do it. A run
Oh
with just
god,
one
what have I
mistake,
done?
Can
Literally, what have I
better
done?
luck could be
Can
enough
I
to
put
end
myself
his
over the guy in the
He attempted to
webcam
do
when
one.
he shows up?
But it wasn't
Oh,
happening.
hell yeah.
Weeks passed.
Let's
no new
go.
record. Then months passed. Cypher's personal best remained at 2701.
Duke Radio.
In February 2015,
You know, I think this stream might be a
Cypher
little
announced his
stupid, but it's
retirement
fine.
from speedrunning.
Just a tad, just a skosh. You know what I mean? Just a
He felt that
tad
it was
little
taking
bit.
up too much time and wanted to focus
Grinding?
on elsewhere.
Damn.
Cypher's legacy would remain, however.
Just putting myself over. Oh, shit.
And together with Shoka,
I'm playing Mega
to
Man.
the limits of the 27-minute mark.
I'm in your
To
area.
achieve his goal. The Cypher era of Rockman 2
What is this stream? What is
without his
stream?
sub 27.
I'm off my meds, chat.
Chat, we have officially lost it.
A trick found by a runner named
Fuck all, I'm eating more of these gummy bears.
Alright guys, check out my cool Mega Man playthrough. I can do so much cool tricks like that. How did I get over there? Wow.
The coolest tricks.
I wish the name wasn't getting cut off. I do want this guy to actually get proper credit.
Yeah.
But their name was shown earlier, so that's fine, I guess.
Probably.
God, that's Airman. How'd you beat
You
him?
can't beat him!
How'd you do it? I can't beat him. How'd you beat him?
quite a
No
situation
way,
to
dude! That's hype.
On pace for
This is crazy. I'm gonna
26
cut.
with one stage.
Whoa!
Well, Elo had started running the game in 2013 and started a steady march of improvements. He stayed well behind Shoka and Cypher's records, but throughout 2014,
I think what was
the gap
like
got
limiting my comedy factors in my brain earlier finally fucking turned off. I'm just going full fucking
His skill
whatever.
level was on par with Cypher's, and
Yeah, I hear it sounded exactly like this.
this had been a great run through Wily 3, cleaning up the mistakes that Cypher had made. But the
Yep.
amazing part started in Wily 4. Elo hit everything, including his own extended ceiling zip, leading to a gold split. And thanks to
Ayo.
beautiful luck and execution in Wily 5, he got his second gold split in a row. The fastest.
I don't know what a
ever
gold split
completed
means.
Two of the most important stages.
I think it means
in
that
the
you've
run.
beaten
It
it's
led
your
to
personal
him
best.
being
It's your
6
PB.
seconds ahead of
Ooh.
the record into Wily 6.
Oh,
I believe that's the
But
case.
there's
I should
one other
download the
aspect
splits
of
thing for when we
Elo's game
race
haven't talked about.
Tetris.
Oh, that'd be
Elo
hype.
is an
Yeah.
incredible button masher. He can mash at 16 presses per second.
That's
10 hertz
crazy.
autofire would be a huge.
Also, I remember a couple streams ago I said, man, I should try playing Phantasy Star Online 2 again.
Wily 1,
Don't!
nowhere is it more
Oh,
important
no.
than the
Really?
alien in Wily 6.
The
alien
I
starts
don't,
off
I've
and
not
moves
kept
in a
up with it.
figure-eight pattern around the screen.
They're
Your goal
the new
is to
Genesis
hit
thing or
28
whatever
times by the time
is apparently
you
just
hit
like
the right
god
side
awful.
the second
I
time.
couldn't even
Oh,
load it
no.
up because it kept crashing on me. And
Oh no!
and its anti-cheat is malware.
Difficult.
Oh!
You hit him when he's dead, and you have to worry about hugging the alien.
That's pretty good. Okay, sure, lovely.
And after
Oh
entering the
boy,
Wily
Sega's gonna have
he
a
was
ball
just
with that
an alien
one.
fight away from the
Ooh.
world's first sub 27.
I don't. Here's the thing. It's been like this for a while, from what I've gathered.
That's really bad. Ouchies. Thanks.
For the first
They should have
time
kept
ever,
the twist that
Rockman
Dr.
2
Wily
achieved
was a
under
spaceman.
27 minutes.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
As Celebration
That and they should have just kept it was just a weird spring
Elo
roll, but like
seemed to be
like that one boss fight in Sonic
didn't
Heroes.
snap out of it quickly though, and spent the next several months working on other speedrunning projects. All the while, His 2657 remained the
Viv, you're playing Mega Man now?
27-minute.
Oh shit!
He had no
Finally!
challengers for his record.
Again, after all this time! I say having played like Mega Man X, like how long ago? Like, I think it was one of the crowd control streams I did.
Where he stopped short and had to do a lot.
And I got pretty far.
And on quick
Actually,
I should like beat X1. I still haven't. I don't know why, because that game's hard. I will play through I think every single Mega Man X game at some point. I've played through 1 and 4 and Maverick Hunter. I still do that Vile playthrough where I'm playing as Vile. Oh, look at me go! Chat, I'm unstoppable.
That meant the overall
Chat, you can't best me. Look at me go!
Choke point 4 stages into the run. So a lot of
super fighting streamer.
Yo, good time.
You couldn't just
yeah, listen, I've PB'd. I'm so strong.
The Big Boy. Back in 2012, the Big Boy found an alternate version of Task Clash where you went to the right at the start to place item 1, instead of climbing up right away. It wasn't paid much attention to at the time, but it was actually
this is a quality stream, I think.
This is the quality stream.
This is what you come to twitch.tv/Bunglin for. This is what you sub for. This is why you get the big bucks, Bunglin.
Yeah. After learning that Tom Scott doesn't appreciate his likeness being used the way that people have been doing, I've got to start just putting ourselves into other things instead of putting him into our things.
You gotta literally plug me into the network like I'm your net navy.
No records and many runs dying to the last Wily stages.
I would love to have like an actual PET. That'd be hype, I think.
Heat fight. 830s.
I need to like come up with a time when I'm doing the fucking Bomberman Heroes 100% run.
So even
That'd be hype.
Lost time going for Biggie,
because it's like a game I've played for years and years. I've never 100% of that game.
6 seconds ahead.
Yeah, I tried to do that with what's it called with Minish Cap, but it just kind of exploded, sadly. Oh.
Yeah. I have a good reason why I never did it, because the American version of the game is borderline impossible to 100%.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, fuck that. I got pretty close. I got like a lot of them, but it was just like I had to do so much grinding that I just kind of gave up.
Yeah.
Why even fucking bother?
1 second.
There's like a whole extra world with an extra boss for 100%ing it.
Months for even the best player in the world to get a record improvement. Who could say how long the next record would take? The very next day,
oh no!
Seconds ahead going into
damn, Bobu got killed.
Wily Fi's last 3 fights is one of the most random parts of the game.
Bobu's dead. Posted a link.
History's worst plus 2-bit new world record.
Throws that can lose you.
That's super good.
I love how I have the thing that you can pay to get yourself timed out, but there's this secret tech that get it for free.
Yeah, the secret sneaky ultra giga tech that you've never seen before.
Works just like he did.
But when you get back, I will try to stream Gartic maybe tomorrow.
Instead of 13.
Right now, I just want to play dumb Kingdom Hearts character action games. It's fun.
Especially Quick, Air, and Wood. So, Elo just had
so
to
true.
His best, and hope his RNG and execution was good enough to keep the run alive.
Cooked. Got him.
Oh, I got screwed hard. PB's over. You have no idea how much time that costs. And then I flew the Clash fight.
Anyways.
I haven't even seen the major RNG, and it's already over. Oh. It's over.
I love how I'm still doing this on the stream.
Hell yeah! See, there should just be art of just my persona like dressed up as a Mega Man character.
It wasn't.
That'd be hype.
The refights weren't great, but Elo was only a second behind overall. And with a really good zip and fast alien kill, he could save up to 2 seconds on the last split.
I saw 55, so that's actually a big one.
Elo's second record in 2 days. He was now 6 seconds ahead of Cypher, and had held the world record.
This is just a stream. This is a stream.
This is a stream where I get plugged into YouTube.
The game off and on for a few months.
Jack in.
But was unable to lower the record any further.
I'm so glad in my Bell Network there's the famous line, "All right, Mega Man, time to jack off."
But if he was to beat it again,
This is so true.
Oh shit!
We got subs.
That split alone. So,
yeah.
if he could at least keep it close through
You love
Wily
to see.
4, then he could save a few seconds in Wily 5 to put him
Hey
back in
Artie,
front.
check it out. Viv's in the video game.
Going into the relay.
Don't reward her.
One day in late January 2016, Elmo started up alone and would gain second on
That's
Quackman
funny
for
as
better
hell,
boss
dude.
fight.
Oh
There,
man.
Personally, I think I should get even more money for doing this.
1.5
honestly,
seconds ahead
real.
of the record. Being ahead this
Especially with
deep
Black
into
Friday
the
heading
run
around the
was
corner
impressive.
soon. I fucking need money to spend on bullshit.
He got to Wily
So
5.
true. Like how are you supposed to buy a are you supposed to get a fucking a Steam Deck with that this way without everybody donating to you, you know?
Going into Wily 3. But
Which is what I need to plug when I get on my stream in a little bit.
Owning a fucking, like, a cool fucking... Well, did you say Stream Deck or Steam Deck?
I think I said Steam Deck.
I want a Steam Deck. I want to be able to...
too! The fuck?
5 shots per jump. But sometimes
Chat, buy me a Steam Deck.
are even longer.
I want one so bad, dude. I want one so bad, dude.
I know Jeff Bezos loves my streams. He loves this content that's on screen right now. He should give me
So
enough money
true.
for a Steam Deck.
So true.
Look, Jeff Bezos, I even have Subway Surfers on the side for you.
Yeah, we're top tier gaming, chat.
But never before.
Toggle hydration levels, you got it.
I have
Hydrating
drank.
right now.
To be close going into Wily 5. Instead, he was 3.8 seconds ahead. And sure
That's good
enough,
drinking.
he picked up some more time on
I'm
the
waiting
limits,
for the thing where
gaining
the time
3
save is like
seconds to put him
-2 and
6.8
you're just gonna be
seconds
standing
ahead
next to
going
it.
into the last stage.
Yeah, the time save is -2, but we're just gonna. So it's even half gameplay. It is. This is the entire game. This is the experience. This is it. This is what it's all about.
Do I need to put another GIF up to appease him? I can put up like characters doing Fortnite dances.
You could.
This wasn't just a record. It was the demolition of a video game. After
Yeah, hold on,
becoming
let
the
me-
first runner to get a sub 27,
Let me
Elmo
look
had now
up
become
like
the first and only to get a sub 2650 as well. This wasn't just the best run of Rockman 2 ever performed.
This is a
It was one of the
quality stream.
strongest world records of any game.
Anyway,
Elo himself said that he was done. The community was in awe of what he had accomplished, and nobody would even try beating it. As 2016 continued, the game entered a period of dormancy at the top. People were still running the game, but Elo's skill level was far above the rest. Only 2 runners had a sub 27, and nobody...
oh yeah, now we're gaming.
2017 came
I should put in about surfers. Hold on.
Nothing. By this point,
Bunways.
Elo's record
Bunway
was close to
surfers.
a year. There was just nobody
We're
good
putting
enough
you in a
to
Subway
beat it.
Surfers bun.
Well,
They should put me
nobody
the Subway
who wasn't
Surfers,
retired,
honestly.
at least.
They should. Why haven't
Cypher
they?
retired in early 2015 with his 2701.
We have fucking
Since then, new
Ashley
strategies
J.
have been
Williams
developed that
busting
will
it down.
allow Elo to be significantly faster. If anyone in the community could beat Elo, he would be Cypher.
God, and he's got one tit out,
Unfortunately,
like,
he wasn't
tastefully.
interested in coming back.
Mwah.
Cypher had
Beautiful.
moved on, and the community
That's what it's all
just
about,
had to
chat.
accept that. Someone else would need to be the one to beat the 2648. And then came AGDQ 2018. That
Oh.
year, a runner named Sinister
You
One
love to see a
organized
GDQ get a world record, actually.
1 through 3
You really
for
do.
Awesome Games Done Quick.
You love to see me get all the hype records at
He hadn't ran a
GDQ.
game in
Let's
30
go.
years, but he was a hugely important part to the game's history.
Viv's stream is starting soon. The video won't be
He
over.
was done with speedrunning.
We don't know that.
Had no interest in returning. But Sinister kept pushing.
Yeah, you don't know that.
After having time to consider,
I
I mean, you probably do.
Cypher agreed
You probably
to
do.
play the game for the relay race.
I'm just
Starting
looking
off a
at.
little bit. This is so dumb. This stream is so
He had
dumb. What are we
years of
doing?
practice to take off. It was hard to say how well his skills would translate.
Can we get a soap cutting video? You got it. Hold on.
And built
Oh,
up
no.
consistency with all the game's tricks.
Oh no! What has this stream become?
Race day finally arrived. And to give you an idea of how the event went, going into Mega Man 2, Cypher's team was in last place of the 4 teams.
Chad, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can
28
do.
minutes later, his team went into Mega Man 3 with the lead. Cypher had single-handedly taken his team from last to first place. And largely thanks to his performance, they would go on to win the race.
Alright. Let me open up fucking
Cypher's
Dumbler
skill
so I can
was
make this
clearly
post.
all there. He hadn't lost.
The stream is now severely incomprehensible more than it already was. Let's go. This is hype. This is what it's all about, baby.
Who knew what his limits could be? So,
Can we get
roughly
Parenti
40 months
Yellow
after his
lecture on
last session of
screen?
world record attempts,
Who? What?
Cypher decided
What are
he
you
was gonna
saying
make
to me now?
one more push for
I'm
the
just gonna look it up and see what the hell you're talking about.
The
Like,
road
boo
was
boo,
gonna
what
be
the
tough.
fuck?
Cypher had achieved a 26:59 in preparation for the relay race, but he was still 11 seconds behind Elo.
What is
While that
this?
was good for second place.
It's something from the
He
80s.
still had a lot
Bobu, there's a lot of things I don't know. You will find this out very easily.
Cypher would find himself on world record pace late into a run. After a fantastic 8 robots
Can I get it in GIF form?
and a big time save on Wily 5, he was 2 seconds ahead of Elo into Wily 6. There are 2 steps to the last stage. First, you need to get the zip and enter the boss room. Mission perfectly accomplished. Step 2, fight the alien.
It's small enough that I can just have it below the projector. This is stimulation!
Oh my god.
This is how you get the big bucks on Twitch.tv in current year. This is how
Alright,
you compete with the likes of Germa,
Can't believe I threw it away.
XQC, and Vinny. You gotta do stuff like
The alien
this.
fight had gone horribly wrong.
the
He
fucking...
took damage too early and got turned around multiple times while trying to match.
This is what it's all about. This is what the Bun stream has all been leading up to.
This is what all my streams should be, I think.
This is the season finale of Bungling before we go into season 2.
World record was right around the corner. Cypher continued doing attempts, now just 5 seconds away from the record.
I love Fortnite Bruce Campbell busted it down.
Despite being right there,
This is like Ember Heart's PRP screen if it fucking sucked.
but the combination of Wily 4, 5, and 6
That's
were able to
genuinely the
shut it down
sickest. I love that. I love that so much.
Oh my
man.
god. I haven't been to a lot of Ember Heart streams, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
The attempts continued.
Oh my
Cypher's
God.
personal best stayed put.
This is it. This is the experience. This is the height of streaming.
And he wasn't
This is what streaming will look like in 2024.
He had come out of retirement for a record grind, but while the
We're
grind
new
was
wave.
certainly real, the record was nowhere to be found. And all the
Alright, I was given an extra picture to throw into everything.
perhaps it's best to let him explain it.
Around that
Oh,
time,
no.
I was
Live John
on my way
reaction.
into the tech industry as a software engineer. You know, I needed to find a job.
If
So,
I recall
during this
correctly...
time, I
Oh
was
shit, I need this to be the
looking for
above the
jobs,
projector.
and
Hold on.
In my spare time, I was working on Mega Man 2. I did about a month of serious
In that
grinding,
image...
and then I had decided
I believe he
the
has
way to
like
find
a butt plug in him,
extracting
like vibrating violently.
much further than
I
would like to
might
do
be
than
wrong,
I
but I'm
did.
pretty sure that's the context of that image was him playing the fucking.
Excuse me?
He's playing the Ultra Kill Sex update.
And if it doesn't happen, then it just doesn't happen.
Love-
I need to fuck with
Yeah.
Win?
So he had a deadline.
When Ultra Kill
Oh,
became compatible
no.
with frickin' was it Love Sense? I think.
Cypher
I think that's what it's
40
called,
attempts to try and
yeah.
get the record.
I think I had a 9-hour stream and then an 11-hour stream on Saturday and Sunday.
Well, I guess that's a new way of saying that this game goes hard, but dump bum.
Probably, I mean, the play quality was probably not that great across both of those sessions, just because I was going much harder than I would have
Delayed.
gone otherwise.
I'm sorry.
in a normal attempt session, but
Be
yeah,
better
it's
about it
not-
next time.
And by the end of it all, no new record. Cypher's deadline had come and gone. and Elos 2648 was still
Every time you make a noise, I can
It
just
was
hear the
time
video
to
coming
give
in
up
through your
the record.
microphone.
But he decided to give himself one more chance before throwing in the towel for good. On that Monday, he decided to participate in one last
That made me,
speedrun
like,
event.
take off my headphones to make sure that I haven't secretly been playing it through my
The
speakers
same
this whole
guy who
time.
initially got Cypher back into the grind with the AGDQ relay race
How sensitive is my fucking mic to detect that?
was called Chase for the Record.
Either that or my ears are trained like a clever harriers. Or the hell Balrog says in, what's it
Chase for
called?
the Record is an
Yeah, I even
And,
have suppressions meant for that.
typically the best.
And what's it called? In Cave Story, that's what he said. He said that in Cave
highly
Story.
competitive at a moment in time, and get all of them to play at the same time, to do attempts at the same time, and then you can kind of show like who's actually on a good pace, and hopefully see a world record during the attempts, which is generally about a 3-hour window.
This event would feature 4 competitors.
I have hiccups, damn it.
Cypher and Ella were
Oh,
the
no.
first 2, the former and current world record holders. The third was Zoda, a promising
Zoda!
runner whose time was in
Ow.
the low 27s. And the fourth was
Oh, no.
Cool Kid, but you might know him better as the Big Boy. He had changed his username and started running Rockman 2 seriously, and had driven his time all the way down to 26:56, a legitimate world record contender. This was
Oh
going to
god,
be
please stop
Cypher's
having
last
hiccups.
chance. 3 hours to get it done. But the odds of him actually pulling
Ow.
it weren't great.
I think Cypher was hoping for big things, but you know, realistically, you can't expect.
What do you mean it's been ruined for a while? This is actually literally the best. This is fun.
This is the best stream on Twitch.
It really is.
Record. The odds are very low. They're not in your favor.
It was my last day.
The hypest stream on
It would have been
Twitch.tv.
normally it would be the first time anyone ever set a record during an event like this.
So in the beginning of the event, typically you want to kind of
Like,
introduce the game to the
the start of the
audience. So
stream
we have them
started
do
out pretty
a
alright.
set
They
up,
kind of slowed down for a
four-way
bit,
race.
but then I feel like I ate and suddenly have awoken into my avatar state.
And then it was on into attempts.
Powered up.
Cypher
You can hear the Mega Man Buster charge in the background as you consume food and power up.
I'm not sure I've ever been as focused on anything in my life.
And Cypher gonna set up this first zip here. Nicely done.
Yep, right up against the ceiling. That's what you're looking to see from any of those.
I'm hungry and nothing about that, but I don't feel like cooking.
I've got 3 hours.
I have to figure something
I'm gonna
out.
try my best.
Having
make
to
it happen.
cook is
Whatever happens, happens.
is cringe.
That's
It really is,
favorable
yeah.
pattern.
It's like I just want to eat. No cook, only eat.
Thanks for the content, Sledge. You're welcome. I do so much for y'all. You better love me.
Didn't go far enough to the right.
That's rough.
I can't get rid of these hiccups.
He was like one pixel away and he stopped.
I was but I was like, you know what? It's just one run. We, like immediately into another run. I was very
Punished for your
excited
hubris.
about the outcome that I wouldn't.
I'm looking at soap getting cut. I'm stimulated.
As Cool Kid makes his way
You okay?
into what many think is the most dangerous stage in the game. Wily Floor, Purple Hell.
Cool Kid managed to
Chat,
get on
this is the only stream where you have my permission to jack off.
What is happening? Okay, let's see.
Going
Actually, hold on. Is there TOS against that? This is a joke.
Probably.
This is a joke.
I was just not paying attention to anything else happening in the event. I was not listening to the commentary.
Making squeaky rabbit noises into the microphone.
Alright, come on, Cool Kid. Nice one shot there. Get mashing.
Chat, I need to make like 15k. Pay for my bottom surgery, please.
Please do it.
Please do it.
If you do, when I get good at drawing, I'll draw you a free commission.
And stage here, he's the only player
It's an investment, Chad. An
Chat,
investment.
going so far.
here's the thing. Donate $100k and I'll stream Trials and Tainted Space too.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Biggie special.
Don't make promises you shouldn't keep.
He's in good shape here.
It's only valid for the next 2 minutes.
I got another run for Wily within half an hour of losing that Wily suitcase. Like I'm just playing out of my mind.
He's got to be thinking about what happened last time in Wily 2 here, so hopefully he's able to get this zip set up.
Yeah, I'm always worried about the over.
That one was good. That one was definitely.
Did I smoke before stream? I didn't.
The bane of Sith.
I just.
This is just the experience. This is just the experience, chat.
I fell asleep high. I guess there's probably still stuff in my system.
That you have in Rockman.
Not that much time passed between waking up and starting stream.
You have vertical zips.
To ash and
you
dust.
have item 3 drops. You have a door crash that you have to do. Everything has to come together in this one stage where it's very high pressure.
And I kept just playing well and not losing it anywhere. And why
God, I wish actually Jay Williams would twerk.
His pace, but that's a 45, so he is on world record pace going into refights.
I think you can make him do that.
Going into Wily 5, we knew Cypher was on a good pace. We didn't know his exact pace because as the way commentators had things set up, we can't really see their splits. So we knew he's ahead, but not by how much.
God, the Evil Dead trilogy is great.
Which can really go bad.
I need to see the other movies. I saw the first one. The first one's really good.
Thinking, okay,
You haven't seen Evil Dead 2?
He's getting a really nice fight so far.
Oh, it is just the plot of 1, but better.
Yeah, this is good.
Oh, exciting.
Once he got past quick,
Like,
I know that's where he goes groovy.
yeah. Like, the first half of 2 is the first movie.
Oh, Pog. This girl needs $160 for a Tau task force. You are so right. Chat, don't eat immediately.
And then Army of Darkness is the peak of all movies ever made.
Oh, that's
so
good.
true.
That's good. He's in there.
We're in there. Let's go.
Right, he just has to match.
The reboot has like one good scene in it,
Shot, he'll be in good shape.
and it's the Deadite coming out of the basement. It's like, how about you come down here so I can suck your cock, pretty boy? I fucking love that line read, honestly.
Sounds pretty good, dude.
And then Evil Dead Rise is just a good horror movie, in my opinion.
It was euphoric.
Evil Dead Rise, AO?
Yeah, that's the one that like came out this year.
43. Unbelievable.
Oh god. It is nearing my start time faster and faster with each
I was
passing
just
second.
overwhelmed with emotion.
There is 17 minutes left in the video.
We saw that
3 minutes
not
left
only
until I
is
stream.
record,
3
but
minutes
this
left
is
until I
record
stream.
by a significant
Alright,
amount.
the video
I
needs
was
to go
just
faster.
Floored. You know,
We
we've done
need
this
to go.
It's now or never.
We have the technology.
Yo, that guy's an American flag in his room cringe.
Beating Elo by 6 seconds.
Damn, that's big whack.
At the end of the day, you just can't keep Cypher from Rockman 2. He'd spend the next few weeks on other tasks, but Rockman 2 was still calling his name. And sure enough, by March, he was back to doing record attempts. But this time, he wasn't alone. Cool Kid had driven his PB all the way down to 26:47, good for second place, and he was coming for the top spot. Cypher and
I need to also
get
get,
next world record.
fucking just thinking of the Warhammer stuff. I need to get like the paints and shit still too.
By jumping and shooting left at the start of the fight.
Oh god.
Sorry, I'm looking at like Robot Masters and learning there's a Robot Master who's like one of his favorite things is global warming is so fucking funny.
I love global warming. Make more cars.
You could keep it made the rest of the stage easier. Cypher and Cool Kid both had a legitimate shot at this.
Finally, Elon Musk made a robot.
Found himself 6.5 Wily 5. Fortunately, despite getting a great airman pattern, he misexecuted and lost 5 seconds.
So true. So
Still a small world record, but Cypher couldn't help but feel disappointed.
Oh my
This
god.
run wasn't what it could have been.
Oh god, I got the hiccups still. How long have I had these hiccups at this point? It feels like it's been years.
I think at least 5 minutes.
But one mistake in Wily 5
This is
Maybe a little
fucked
bit more.
up.
I'll be real. I've been like phasing in and out of reality, like like it's going out of style. So
Just like smoke a bunch of weed and then down a bottle of alcohol, get crossfaded.
oh god, I wish, but I don't have any of that. There's alcohol. There is weed in my house, but don't tell anyone.
This was the record Cypher had been looking for.
Secret
It was a
weed.
solid run through.
Yeah,
Wily 4.
everyone knows it's legal where you are.
But
It
he
is,
had time to save in Wily
but it's
5.
also secret weed.
7 seconds.
Oh, it's secret weed.
Well into 26-3 and he closed it out with a 26-37. And as it turned out, this was good enough for Cypher to end the grind. He stopped playing the game, and his record remained far ahead of anyone else. Well, at least for a little while. because just a few weeks later,
Okay.
Cool Kid was on his way.
I'm about to get ready to go live, so I'm gonna jump. Peace out, gamer.
Cool Kid wasn't just any speedrunner.
Oh god, it's just me. How am I supposed to fucking manage this stream on my own?
It made sense that he would want to as well, but he had a really cool record to beat, 26:37. On May 7th, Cool Kid got on a run that had a below-average He-Man pattern, meaning he'd have some time to make up. He'd save a bit from a faster air fight, then save a couple in quick from a frame-perfect zip. By triggering it on the first frame possible, Mega Man only gets pushed up one tile instead of two, meaning you can quickly zip through the boss corridor as well. Just about the only substantial mistake through the 8 robots was missing the initial item 1 placement on the Woodman zip. Going into Wily 6, he was about a second behind the record. If he could perfectly crash the door on the zip, he might just barely be able to get this.
Oh my god. This might go record, right?
The run would be retimed to a 26:37.00, beating the record by 10 frames. Cypher's massive world record had only been standing for about 4 weeks, and more than 6 years after his initial Big E discovery, Cool Kid had become the record holder. And then, everything went silent. For the first time in months, there was no active competition for Rockman 2's world record. Cypher had moved on, Cool Kid had moved on, and nobody else was within striking distance. And so, the record stood. And it stood for years. Through the rest of 2018, all of 2019, and all of 2020, Cool Kid's 26:37 stayed put as a world record. There were no rivals, no contenders. Nobody could beat a pair of 26:37s in the top spots. But then, in early 2021, guess who came back to run the game? Although he hadn't done serious ranking attempts in several years, Ello started up the grind again in January 2021. It had been so long. Could he still compete for time set by Cypher and Cool Kid? Well, he quickly got a 2-second personal best. He took another 2 seconds off, then another. Now down to 26:42, Ello was quickly honing in on the record. It all came to a head on March 26th, 2021. Ello got on a run that gained time early, but bled a bit going into the Wily stages. Entering Wily 3, he was about 2 seconds ahead. This was a serious chance at a sub 26:40, but given that his best possible time from here was a 26:34, it actually still had an outside shot at the world record. This was a small, but possible chance to jump straight to the record.
Whoa, my power just went out. Oh my god, my TD is I'm not even kidding. What the? My power just massively flickered and my TD was completely... I'm not even kidding. All the colors just went... Am I still... Whoa, did it again. And my power went out. Are you serious?
Ello would continue doing runs for a few weeks, but he'd never take his personal best under 26:42. To this day, that's where
this was a stream of all time, honestly.
Ever play the game.
Oh god.
To be seen if he'll ever take the record again.
I can't hiccup anymore.
There to be more competition at the top level, because just a few months later, Cypher would return to the game. A big reason why Cypher and Ello came back in 2021 was a new, faster way to play the Wily stages. It was first found in a task from
Hold on, we need one more source of audio.
You start by using
it's so fucking important.
Which is still pretty fast, but saves a bit of item 2 ammo. This allows you to fly through Wily 4's spike screens. On the first, you want to wait until you take damage, then use item 2 on the next screen to avoid having to wait for the conveyor. On screen 3, you can place item 2 at the top and quickly make it to the other side. Altogether, this saves about 2.5 seconds, but
Here comes the challenger!